for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. What's up? That boy Coach Malachi Williams in the building. We back. I'm going to try not to yell today. True Media Today, USA Boxing. We are back. We call ourselves True Media because we are the truth. We the truth when it comes to this boxing shit. You know, we try to come in the game and, you know, shake things up a little bit. We are on the outside looking in when it comes to being a part of the boxing community with the other YouTube channels. 99% of them we don't fuck with. And here's what it is. A lot of these dudes just fanboys, fans of networks, stuff like that, internet gangsters, fake wannabe thugs who don't go to the fights. And if they saw you, tell you to drop the addy. And if they saw you at the fight, they ain't going to do shit. But they either not going to say nothing to you, want to shake your hand or take a picture with you. That's about as far as that shit going to go. But it is what it is. We got more fights we will be going to. I will be at the Virgil Ortiz. I'm standing on this fight. And I'm in April next month. I will be going to San Antonio. I'll be in San Antonio next week in San Antonio at the Kid Austin camp. Kid Austin, he's in training camp right now. I'll be there. We'll be hitting L.A. When will I be hitting L.A.? I'll be going to L.A. At the end of, I'll probably be going to L.A. in March, probably the third week of March. I'll be in L.A. with Freeway Ricky Ross, Ayatollah Marv, Melvin Farmer, Big U. I don't know if I'm going to see Big U yet. It hasn't been confirmed, but I'm pretty sure I will. If he's around, I'll be able to see him. I'm going out there for that. So while these niggas talking, man, we doing it. Let's give everybody a round of applause. These niggas talking about gangsters. I'm going to be around some real ones. Anyways, let's go. Now, we did have a good fight party yesterday. Jake the Snake Paul. I was able to see Jake the Snake Paul last night. I got me some ice today, guys. I'm feeling a lot better. It's just my voice. I had a lot of mucus right here, so the mucus is breaking up. But I have this nasal drip. When you have a nasal drip, you can't stop coughing, so I gotta just put ice in my mouth. I went in, man, and just try to soothe my throat a little bit. But anyway, my vocal cords. But anyway, Jake the Snake Paul. We had a good one last night. By far, this is one of the most exciting fights that I've seen in a long time. I know a lot of people who watched this fight was more than entertained. Tommy Fury is the new WBC. Diarrhea. They called it the diarrhea belt, but he's the new WBC Diarrhea cruiserweight champion. So the Fury family, the Fury clan, has two champions in the building right now. They have two champions in the family right now, the Fury clan. They have two champions, Tommy and Tyson. Both of those guys' names start with a T. Tommy and Tyson Fury are both champions. There's a lot of people feeling some type of way right now about that. I was feeling some type of way myself because one of my favorite fighters, Jake the Snake got robbed. Hey, you know what? Bro, check this out, right? You guys know I joke a lot. I got some dudes, and I can tell these some young niggas, and I don't even know why some of the young niggas even follow me because I really don't fuck with young niggas. You know what I mean? I fuck with some, but the ones I rock with are the ones who are mature. When I was growing up, I was a very, very mature guy. Like I used to be around a lot of the older dudes. I used to be around dudes 6, 7, 8 years older than me. They put me under their wing and taught me the game. A lot of these young dudes now, because we're in the social media era, they don't have that. So, they're getting raised by their favorite rappers, the Young Thugs, whatever the case may be, and just certain rules to the game that they don't know. And a lot of them, it's different now. It's very, very different now. It's very, very different now. Like when I came up in the era when you was 18 years old, you moved out of your mother's house or apartment, father's house or apartment. You got your own place. You look forward to paying bills and stuff like that. When I was 16, I ran away from home, hung out in the projects, College Hill housing projects, for an entire summer. I was bad as hell when I was young. Then I came back home. I went to boot camp, stuff like that. Went to YO. Had to bang in the YO, but had to get it down. But when I was 18 years old, I asked my mother, can I move out? She said, gave me permission. And I moved out. I haven't been back home. You get what I'm saying? Now, my mother passed away and stuff like that. But, she helped me get my own apartment because I was too young to get my own apartment. So I stayed in the townhouse with two more of my homeboys. And both of my homeboys was older than me. They was like 8 years older than me, right? 7 to 8 years older than me. And we stayed in a 3-story townhouse. I think the rent was $1,200 a month. And all three of us had to put money together to pay the rent, right? And we did that. So this era is different. This era, niggas still living with their mamas. They baby mamas taking care of them. Now, we still had some of that when I was growing up. That is true. But now this is the norm. You have these men today, these young men today, they have no sense of pride when it comes to responsibility at all. They want to be internet gangsters online. That's about as far as that shit gonna go. You know what I mean? They don't know what a car note is, mortgage payment, property taxes, rent. They don't know about any of that. And they argue all day about what fighters should do from a business standpoint. Like literally, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. But to the young men and women out there who do get it, who are mature, let's give you guys a round of applause. Yeah, I do everything in my power to run these niggas off the block. As a matter of fact, before we get into the show, let's get it started. Let's see, can we purge any nigga or female feeling some type of way about Coach Malachi Williams? You know what the hell you can do? You can get the fuck off the block. Give two fucks about you. You can leave. Please leave. Leave. Get your ass off the block. We don't beg for subscribers over here. I will replace you. I'm good at what I do.
Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap-ass cigars. Fuck your yuck-mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
I do not play. I do not play. Don't play at all. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, let's get into the show, guys. Shout out to my main man. Let's see who in the building before I do that. Shout out to my sister Lisa Bales in the building, the Tenderonis. You guys know. Shout out to Lisa Bales in the building. Shout out to who else in the building? Shout out to Retro Boston and Documentaries. He's in the building. Rick Timms, what's going on, fam? Shout out to Rick. Shout out to just a different era. Just a different era. Shout out to who else we got in the building? Shout out to Montre. Montre, you remind me of a guy. It's a guy, man, from a neighborhood apartment complex called Johnson and Kenneth Court. His name was Montre, one of my old homeboys. I ain't seen him in a long time. This guy keeps asking the same question. I'm not going to answer you. I don't know what's wrong with you. Steve Kim will be here on the second half of the show. He'll be in the second half of the show. Yeah, this guy keep talking about, y'all don't even know who the hell you is. Yeah, just keep spamming the chat. You're going to get, just keep spamming the chat. Yeah, just keep timing him out. If he keep asking that same question, keep timing him out. Don't block him. Just keep timing his ass out. Shout out to Fotex.
Hey, okay.
He said attention to all Wakandas. He say time for you to leave. Shout out to Fotex. Shout out to Swat Jones. Knockdown 305, Dade County's finest, Massachusetts Fishing. Steve Kim will be on the show later on in the second half of the show. Shout out to the lovely Tenderoni. Bless 365. Salute to you, sis. Shout out to you, sis. And before we start the show, shout out to $1 Trillion Dreams for dropping that quarter of a dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy!
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said Wilder versus Ruiz on BOK Prime next will be fire. Is that a possibility, coach? Nah, I don't know about that, man. You got to ask Blue Blood Sports TV. Blue Blood Sports TV was the one that said those was his partners. He partnered with BOK Prime and they got all his money. And I know Crawford and Abenesian got paid their money. But for some reason, the Adrien Broner situation, I don't know what happened with that Adrien Broner situation. AB got 3 fights in a row canceled. I had to be rescheduled. So I don't know, maybe that's AB being sabotaged or maybe AB have very, very bad luck. I don't know what's going on with that, fam. You have to ask Blue Blood Sports TV since he say those are his partners. I don't know. If I knew some $1 Trillion Dreams, I'd tell you, dog, but I really don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. But I got somebody from BLK Prime I can call. I got somebody who I talked to from BLK Prime. I can call to find that out for you. I can't do that, fam. I could do that and I'll let y'all know. He said, he said, what'd you say? I didn't think AB was a good investment, but I'm happy to see him back. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know about AB, man. AB destroyed himself in so many ways. You know, of course, he was over there in the PBC being very, very loyal, but he wasn't handling his business the way he was. Like, literally, like, the video I dropped earlier today, he don't even know how much money he was getting paid, how much he was owed. He just said that, Al said that I spent all my money, it's gone, ain't no more money left. He said, well, I don't know, man, probably maybe that is so. I was spending thousands of dollars every day, so it is what it is. He didn't even know how much money he made or was owed, because when you say something like that, he was in a situation where he said he didn't receive checks for the last 6 years. So what happened? So you was fighting, so let me get this straight. You was fighting without getting paid, but your advisor was holding your money, and just whenever you asked him for money, he gave it to you? Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but if anybody got a job in the chat, if you have a job and you work for somebody, just imagine you having a job. Now, in this case, the fighter is an independent contractor. So you don't work for anybody, right? You know, your advisor is the one who works for you. But just imagine the guy who works for you is holding your money, and anytime you need money, you fight for a living. Anytime you need money, you have to get the money that is owed to you from your advisor. I've never heard anything like this before in my life. Never. I'm not saying it doesn't go on, but I never heard anything like this before in my life. And the fact of the matter is, the dudes that you hear online are arguing for this type of treatment or behavior. It tells me that these guys are they haven't been out on their own. They haven't been out on their own, had a job, pay their own bills and stuff like that. I know this for a fact. And on the YTBC $1 Trillion Dreams, you will have some of the lowest IQ, dumbest motherfuckers you ever seen in your life. Literally. You get what I'm saying? And this is why I do everything in my power to disrespect these niggas. And these women as well. I would disrespect their ass as well, who get out of pocket. You know what I mean? I just do. So, but I don't feel sorry for AB $1 Trillion Dreams. I don't. AB is a grown-ass man. If he wasn't handling his business right, that's his fault. And if he was drinking and partying and not handling his business, then you can't get mad at Al Haymon. Al Haymon saw a mark. So, hey, man, I can take advantage of a situation. He probably took advantage of it. Al Haymon probably. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. He took advantage of it. I got this young fool from the hood who want to act a donkey. Every time I turn around, he dancing and doing this and getting drunk and fighting and, got 20 different baby mamas. So he saw an opportunity, and AB got what he was looking for. Now, he more than likely, he broke, ain't really got no money like that anymore. And you saw from the video, he said, man, the can man is back. I want to fight anybody and everybody. I don't care who it is. So he went from getting offers from Eddie Hearn when he was with the PBC to turning down big purses from Eddie Hearn to now he's willing to fight with anybody. I don't care who it is because he's a free agent. Do you see how the tables have turned?
True.
Fuck this money up. I'm spending thousands of dollars. I asked Al to see him give me $100,000. He gave it to me for one day before I went to Vegas. Like, why would you get $100,000 before you go to Vegas? So this ain't Al Haymon's fault. I can't put this on Al Haymon. This on Adrien Broner. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Man got to be held accountable. The man got to be held accountable for their own actions. But before we get into the show, let me go ahead and read the show and get it over with. Before we start the show, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Al Haymon.
Well, I guess I got to be like everybody else and thank Al Haymon. I can quit my job now, baby. 6 figures, baby. You feel me?
But a name. Do you have a name?
Oh, nah, I ain't got no name,
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
It is what it is. Let's get into the show, man. Let's get into the show. Now, breaking. As you guys know, Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they appear to have ended their beef. Steve Kim will be on at the second half of the show, the 4 o'clock mark, Eastern Standard Time. He will be on. He exposes the truth behind why boxing is broken. And we're going to look at that, right? You have a lot of questions. Why we don't get the type of fights that we want? What's the issue? What's the problem? It's not the fighters. It's not the fighters. I can damn near guarantee you that. I'm not, again, when I say it's not the fighters, a lot of times it's not the fighters. A lot of times it's not the fighters. Sometimes it is the fighters. Sometimes the fighters just don't want to, they don't want to take certain risky fights. But Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia is a perfect example of two fighters pushing their promoters. Look, we don't care nothing about wrong side of the street. We don't care nothing about being on a different network, different promotional company. I need you to make this fight happen right now. Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis is the only reason why we're getting this fight. We're not getting this fight because of Al Haymon. We're not getting this fight because of Steven Espinosa. We're not getting this fight because of Oscar De La Hoya. We're not getting this fight because of the zone. Don't get it twisted. The only reason we're getting this fight with Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis is because of Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis.
True.
And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis are big enough stars in their own right to where they can push the envelope at their promotional company. Look, I'm not fighting nobody else. This is the fight that I want. This is the fight that I need. I don't give a fuck what you niggas got to do. Y'all make this fight happen. Period. I left Floyd Mayweather because he was holding me back. The nigga all in the videos, singing, dancing. You know what I mean? Every time the reporters ask me a question, he want to answer the question. So I left him. So I'm letting you know that guess what? I'm willing to leave you if I have to. Because you ain't no promotional company, you just an advisor. So if I have to leave you, I will. But I need this fight to happen. Okay, Tank. And they made it happen. Ryan, Oscar, I know that I pulled out of 3 fights last in 2021, but I need this fight for my legacy. I really think that I can beat a Tank. I need this fight. I don't care what nobody says. I want this fight. You make it happen. Period. Okay.
True.
You didn't hear Ryan Garcia or Tank Davis talking about wrong side of the street. You with the wrong promoter. Your baby mama got to know how to do the butterfly. Your cousin got to know how to do the one leg up. Your auntie got to know how to do the cabbage patch. Your sister got to know how to moonwalk. Your baby mama got to know how to do the mashed potato, the funky chicken. You got to get a belt. Neither one of them have a belt. You got to fight somebody. You ain't hear none of that with them two. What's different between those two than any other fights? Well, let's get into the show. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury embrace each other for the first time in Saudi Arabia since their 3rd fight, when Deontay Wilder got put to sleep by Tyson the Gypsy King Fury in Las Vegas. They embraced each other for the first time in Saudi Arabia right before the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fight. In an interview, Deontay Wilder let it be known that the Middle East is the place to be. He said that. I have the actual video footage, receipts. He said the Middle East is the place to be when it comes to making big fights. The Middle East and the UK have the money. Those old Mayweather days, Pacquiao days, De La Hoya days, Tyson days, where you're going to see the big, major, mega fights. Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia is a good fight. That's an exception to the rule. Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, that's not a mega fight. It's a good fight, but it's not a mega fight. With the big money, big purses, no, it's a new ball game now. New ball game now, right? It's a new era now. So now, this is what Deontay Wilder said when it comes, you say it's a place to be when it comes to making big fights, big money fights, right? The Bronze Bomber let it be known that he plans on fighting someday in the Middle East. He says he's been over there, him and Shelly Finkel, Deontay Wilder, and his white Jewish manager, Shelly Finkel, while over there in the Middle East, negotiating, trying to work deals out for Deontay Wilder. I have to let this be known. Deontay Wilder was in the Middle East with Shelly Finkel, his white Jewish manager, trying to make big deals made. So for all you revolutionaries out there from Wakanda, black man is with the white man again. If the white man ain't involved, the black man don't get no money. I know it doesn't sound right, but there's a reason why your king is over there with his white Jewish manager. Okay?
True.
Let's get into the show. Whatever delusion you want to paint in your head, just like you wouldn't have Wakanda if it wasn't for the 2 white Jewish men, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. If it wasn't for Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, we wouldn't know what Wakanda is. If it wasn't for Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, we would not know what Black Panther is. If it wasn't for Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, we would not know what vibranium is. Let's give a round of applause to those two white men, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, for creating a black utopia for Wakandites. It's the truth. It's the truth. You can say what you want to say. That nigga cool, Uncle Tom sell out. Guess what you won't say? You won't say that I'm lying.
True, true, true.
Am I lying? Am I lying? I'm asking the question. Am I lying? Can anyone find the lie? If anyone can show me where I'm lying at, I will send you $100 right now, Cash App. Show me where I'm lying at. I'll send anybody in the chat $100 Cash App right now. Show me where I'm lying at. Anybody. I don't care who it is. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, don't make me no motherfucking never mind. If you like green, prove to me I'm lying. Anyways, let's get into the show. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys this. Let me go and show you this. Hey, shout out to Yamas. Yamas, what's going on, fam? Shout out to doggone my main man, Rick, Smith and West. Smith and West, what's going on, baby? Well, I ain't seen you in a while, brother. That's my brother from Detroit. That's my brother from Detroit. Shout out, man. Shout out to my brother Smith and West, man. I had Smith and West on the panel in 2021. This a big dude. He was in his, I think he was in the Benz. You still got that Mercedes Benz? Smith and West? I think it was in the Benz. I think it was in the Benz. Yeah, I had him on the panel. It was me, Smith and West, Shelton Moore, R.I.P. to Kurt Sugar. It was, damn. Oh, shit, it was somebody else, man, that be in the chat, man. So it was Bruce Gas. Yeah, it was Bruce, Blood Boxing. It was Bruce, Blood Boxing, Kurt Sugar, Smith and West, Shelton Moore, and me. That's who it was. That's who it was. Now, we had a good show. We had a good show that day. We had a good show that day. We had a good show that day. Yes, we did. We had a good show that day. I remember that. I remember that. I think Lisa came on. No, Lisa didn't come on the panel. Lisa didn't come on the panel. Shout out to Drew.
Hey, okay.
He said, look at that video I just sent you on Twitter. DM 30 seconds. What is the video about? Is it the video about them hugging each other? Because I saw that. I'm going to show that anyways. I'm going to show that anyways. Hold on. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, no. Matter of fact, I got to keep my voice. I got to keep my voice down. Hey, Drew, boy, this is a classic right here, boy. This is a classic right here. Hold on, I'm not even going to show that one there, right? I'm not even going to show that one yet, Drew. Hold on, I'm not going to show that one yet. Check this out. Before I do that, some of you might say, man, Coach, you lying. Deontay Wilder, the bronze bomber, he did not see the white colonizer, Tyson Fury, the man who cheated him, beat him with air weights, and cheated him with the in 3 fights. He did not, first thing he saw him, he hugged him. You say I'm lying, right? You know the crazy part about it? Tyson Fury was making mockery of Deontay Wilder. He yelled, "Bomb Squad!" He was laughing, and the guys that was with him were laughing. If you can see the look on his wife's face, what's her name? Telly Swift? I think her name is Telly. If you can see the look on her face, because they showed the video, they showed her. I saw it in real life action when it happened, and they showed her. She didn't even look Tyson Fury's way. She had she looked like she was pissed off, bro. Like she was pissed off because he was making mockery of Wilder. Anytime Tyson Fury says "Bomb Squad," and he was laughing when he said it, he was making mockery of Wilder, dog. He was making mockery of Wilder when he did it. I'm dead. No, I'm gonna let you see it for yourself. Let me go ahead and show y'all this video. Show y'all this video. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. Now, I know people saying Wilder has matured now. He's matured, he's grown and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, that's good. But I was shocked that he hugged him. Bomb Squad, you know what I would have did? I would have probably just threw my head up at him, like, yeah, what's up, and kept it moving. I would have just threw my head up at it and kept it moving. You get what I'm saying? So if what this guy did was that much damaging, shout out to Malcolm Foy.
Hey, okay.
He said, "Hey, Coach, he show you 2 slick black fighters." Yeah, right now, no, I ain't gonna show it right now. But hey, shout out to the super chat. I ain't gonna show it right now. Because I want to get into the show. Hey, but check it out though, fam. I'll show it in a minute. This it right here. This it right here. I want to show y'all something. I was surprised. I do not own the rights to this materials for educational purposes only. This is fight hype. I want you guys to see this. Let's do this. I want you guys to see this because I don't want nobody thinking I'm capping. Coach making it up. He lying. He always lying on the black man. Okay. Hold on. Let's go right here. Let's hear it again. 1, 2, 3. Now look at the look on Tyson Fury's face though. I look at everything. All these people back here laughing like they think this a joke. Bro, look. They got Joseph Parker right there. Look at the look on his face. This other white dude right here. This dude back here dying laughing. Bro, they was making mockery of Deontay Wilder, bro. Making mockery. They laughing. Bro, they skinning and grinning, bro. Look at this picture. Picture say 1,000 words. Joseph Parker back there. He got this. Look at the smirk on his face. This dude right here, I got to get this on camera here, laughing. And look at this here. Look at Tyson Fury. He yelling bomb squad.
To this day.
I can't make this up. Y'all don't see me laughing. Shout out to Drew.
Hey, okay.
Dropping that quarter over. Bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Hey, what you say? You say Wilder did like smoking Friday when he saw Debo in Saudi. He said he was quiet and left and started talking on 7A Sports TV today, saying he undefeated. It was a fake. I shout out to Bless. Bless, you're right about that, sis. Bless, you're right about that. It was like a fake hug. Wilder gave him like a half fake hug. What'd you say? You said that was a fake hug. Look at the body language. Yeah, I mean, Wilder like him, yeah, it was like a fake hug. He was making Bless. He was making mockery of him though. I want you to see this again, sis. He was making mockery of him. I was like, man, Wilder ain't have to. Like some people saying Wilder just showing class. Listen, you ain't got to hug the nigga. You can just, okay. You ain't got to hug the nigga. Just, okay. Bomb squad. It's obvious he's making mockery. I want you to see this again, sis. Check this out. Just see this one more time. So, I didn't want to see that part no more. That's type Mike Tyson, Dare to Soar. This Dale boy walking, Deontay Wilder hugging he screaming bomb squad right there. Him and Joey Scott. They like that bomb. Hey, listen, and Dale boy laughing. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, I want you guys to know something. I haven't been to the UK. In the UK, when they yell bomb squad, they are making mockery of Deontay Wilder and his supporters. Like, no, I'm dead serious. You guys see, I'm not laughing. When they say bomb squad, they're making mockery of Wilder. You get what I'm saying? Because Tyson Fury knocked him out twice. So when Tyson Fury does it, it's a joke. And listen, okay, I want you guys thinking I'm lying. Okay, y'all think I'm lying. Okay, let me show you one more time. And Wilder's smiling. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, look at this. Look at this picture, man. The picture say 1,000 words. He yelling bomb squad. Wilder looking at him smiling. That dude cracking up laughing behind Tyson Fury. That dude laughing. Joseph Park, come on, man. Let's move on. Do anybody think I'm tripping? Do anybody think I'm lying? Anybody think, well, what do you got? Matter of fact, let me drop the phone lines. Because when Steve Kim come on, I'm not accepting any phone calls after he leaves. What do you guys think? Let me go to the Tyson. He say Tyson Fury love Wilder, coach. Yeah, he love him. I bet he do. Miguel say Wilder deserves it though. Hey, what they say? Rick Till say, nah, Will, we disagree on this one. Yeah, Will, yeah, Rick, you right. We disagree on that one now. We definitely disagree on that one now.
True.
We definitely disagree on that one now. Ask anybody from the UK. We definitely disagree on that, fam. You right about that. We definitely disagree on that one. Definitely. Hey, what they say? Say Fury got chat, 38 hot. Hey, no, I thought you were talking about me. Now, I ain't mad at all. But I'm saying, yeah, we definitely disagree on that one. As a matter of fact, if you disagree with me on that, go back and look at the entire video, Rick, and look at type Deontay Wilder's wife, Telly. Look at the look on her face. Look at the look on Telly. Look at the look on Telly Swift's face. What's her name? Telly Swift? Look at the look on Telly's face. AT say, I didn't see it as mockery, but that's just how I feel. Yeah, we totally disagree on that. Yeah, I know you do. We totally disagree on that. Ain't nothing nobody in the chat gonna tell me, boy. I know what I saw. I know what I saw. So that they would laugh. So guess what? Them people in the background that were laughing, what they were laughing for? They were back there laughing. What they were laughing for? He said, Coach, I want to ask Steve Kim a question. Steve Kim won't be here until the second half of the show. Y'all want to ask a question, you got to send a super chat. When Steve Kim come on, the question got to come in the form of a super chat. It got to be a $5 super chat. I'm not answering just any question. You got to send a super chat when I ask Steve Kim a question in the second half of the show. Anyways, hey, what did they say? Silver Stretch, you say fist to Fury. Yeah, pretty much. What you say? You say Wilder didn't know what else to do other than play it cool. He say Tyson had his gang around him. No, he just, he could have just, looked at him, threw his head up, and kept walking. Hey, what you said, Bless? Bless, what you say, sis? You said exactly why I said Tyson Fury is fake. It's fake. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. But anyways, I'm not here to change anybody else's mind. Believe what you want to believe. Hold on to it. I just want to show you guys your king. Over there in Saudi Arabia. He said video Fury brother D approves he was mocking him. Check this out. As a matter of fact, I'm fixing to show that video too. Drew, shout out to Drew. Hey, okay. Dropping that $2. Bam, super chat on your boy. Hey, he say video Fury brother D proves they was mocking him. So Rick say he wasn't mocking. Okay, cool. Check this out. Teach say he disagree. Check this out. I got something for you. Shout out to Drew for sending me this. Drew, I appreciate you, fam. I really appreciate you. One thing about it, boy, I don't live in an alternative universe. Some people live in alternative universes. I don't live in an alternative universe, but I call it the way I see it, boy. Let's see. Do you want to hear what Tyson Fury brother had to say? Who want to hear what Tyson Fury brother had to say? After they met each other, who want to hear what Tyson Fury brother had to say? They say, Coach, you are wrong on this one, Coach. They say, Coach, you going too far, Coach. They say, Coach, you don't know what you're talking about, Coach. They say, Coach, you exaggerating, Coach. Hey, okay. They say, Coach, you putting straws out of thin air. Hey, okay. They say, Coach, you hating on Tyson Fury. Hey, okay. They say, Coach, you hating on Deontay Wilder. Hey, okay. They say, Coach, you reaching on this one, Coach. Hey, okay. Guess what though? Tell me what you see right here. Tell me what your ears hear. Let's go.
Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter.
So do you still believe that Tyson Fury was not making mockery of Deontay Wilder? Do you still believe when them dudes saw Tyson Fury, saw Deontay Wilder, they were laughing? They probably was laughing before, but they were laughing when they saw him coming up. Do you still believe that? I didn't even see that video until Drew just sent it to me. I didn't even see that video until Drew just sent it to me. Yeah, I didn't even see that video. Shout out to my sister, man. Shout out to my sister Bless. Shout out to my sister Bless 365. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy!
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
What did you say, sis? You say Deontay Wilder made Fury. Boy.
To this day, you just sit here and you don't know what I'm talking about?
Hey, wait, but she say, my sister say Deontay Wilder made Fury. Boy, meat eating, hoe ass, I can't stand him. True. She say she can't stand him. My sister, she can't stand him. But Bless, hear me out. Am I wrong now? After watching that video, I just showed you 2 videos. One thing about Coach, I come with the receipts. Shout out to Drew for sending that receipt. I didn't even know that video existed. I didn't know that video existed. But did you hear what Tyson Fury brother said? He said Deontay Wilder was calling my brother out, basically lying on him for 2 years, saying whatever the case may be. And then the fact of the matter, he said then when he saw my brother, he went up to him and hugged him like a bitch. He saying that's the fact of the matter. If you think I'm lying, let's hear it one more time. Just in case anybody think I'm lying. This what Tyson Fury brother said about Deontay Wilder. Shout out to Retro Boxing Doctor. He said, I'm good with Fury. He never cheated. He just won the last 2 fights. This is what he said. I don't want nobody. So do anybody, am I lying? Am I lying? I'm finna open up the phone lines right now. Am I lying? Let's see what he say. I want to hear it again.
You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter. You know, Deontay Wilder has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch. That was the facts of the matter.
He said Deontay Wilder cuddled him like a
Wilder
bitch.
has talked about my brother for 2 years. And when he seen him face to face, he come over and cuddled him like a bitch.
Now, let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, you heard what he said right there, right? You heard what he said right there. Let's go back. Phone line's finna be open in about 2 seconds. Give me a minute. Now, let's go back and look at this. Let's go back and look at this now. Coach, you tripping. You don't know what you talking about, Coach. Oh, I don't? Okay, cool. Coach don't know what he's talking about. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. I do not know what I'm talking about. Coach don't know what he's talking about. I damn so don't know. Shout out to Fight Hype. I do not own the rights to this material. It's for education purposes only.
Round 4, guys. Round 4. Nice.
So they were just happy to see him, huh? They were just happy to see him. He yelling bomb squad. They were just happy to see him, huh? Oh, we just happy to see the great Deontay Wilder. They were just happy to see him. As a matter of fact, hold on, check this out. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Tyson Fury looks over to his left. Looks over to his left. He looks over to his left. There you go. Now look at this here. Now he's looking at Tyson. He's looking at Deontay Wilder's wife. Because Deontay Wilder was holding Telly Swift with his right hand. So he's looking at Telly. He's looking at Telly. Looking at Telly. And then he looks over. Because she gave him a death stare. She couldn't even look at him. Look at the big dude right here. Look at the big dude right here. He just a cheesing. What he cheesing for? What he cheesing for? Why he laughing so much? What's so doggone funny? He act like he had a Chris Rock. He act like he had a Chris Rock comedy concert or something. Wilder put his head down, smiling, cheesing. And the dude, and guess what the brother said? He said, Deontay Wilder, talking about my brother for 2 years, and when he saw him, he came up to him and he cuddled him like a bitch.
True.
Now I'm not even on the Bomb Squad team like that. I mean, I like Wilder. I do like Wilder. I wasn't crazy about some of his radical fans, but I'm just saying, like, even me, I'm like, God damn, like Bomb Squad, throw your head up, because I've seen dudes that I don't even like. I've seen dudes I don't even like that spoke to me. I just looked at them. I just walking like, just gave him a look, like, you know what I mean? Gave him a look. You know what I mean? Just looked at him. I might have threw my head up, but I ain't not finna go hug him. I'm not even finna go hug him. Hey, so phone lines over, man. 530-494-9636. We got to get the lights up. As a matter of fact, we don't have enough likes. Do we have enough likes? Hey, man, we got over 400 people in here and less than 200 likes. Man, let's get these damn lights up, man. Matter of fact, I'm cussing everybody out who don't hit the like button. I'm cussing everybody out who don't hit the damn like button, man. As a matter of fact, you don't hit the like button, this how I feel about it.
Fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Y'all call us up, man, because C. Kim going to be coming on in about 17 minutes. 17 minutes, she'll be on. Phone lines on right there, 530-494-9636. I rest my case. Anyways, so yeah, man, so Wilder's over there in the Middle East with this white Jewish manager, and he's looking to make some deals over in Saudi Arabia. I think that a lot of those fighters should do that. I think that a lot of these fighters now should cut the middleman out. Because when you're dealing with the Saudis, you don't have to deal with a promoter like that. Just you cut the middleman out and you deal directly with the Saudis. The Saudis have the money, and the Saudis want to see the best fights. Jake Paul and Tommy Fury, that was more of a social media fight. We do know that. A social media fighter versus a reality TV star fighter. But the fact of the matter is, Jake Paul has a huge following, and Tommy Fury has a huge following. So they're going to put butts in seats, and they're going to bring the eyeballs that's going to pay for pay-per-views. So a lot of these fighters that's over here who stuck on the old way of doing things, the old way of doing things is over. The old way of doing things is over. You know what I mean? Yeah, the old way of doing things is over. You see what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? So that's over with. That old way of doing things is over. A lot of these fighters, they need to do that now, man. They got to do that. So I like what Deontay Wilder's doing. Wilder ain't wrong. I ain't mad at Wilder. Go over there and get some of that A-Rap money, man. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Coach, what's up? This Corey from Texas. How you feeling, bro?
Man, Corey from Texas. Talk to me, brother.
Hey, man, I got two things.
What's
hey,
that?
Man, don't do that to me like you did yesterday, man, when you had me jumping all up, you commentating the fight, then you step away. Hold on, let me blow my nose for a minute. I'm like, Coach, come on, dog.
Nah, I was sick, man. I'm still getting over it. I'm getting better now. I just don't want to do a lot of yelling. You can tell my voice is not 100%. So I just got to rest my vocal cords and stuff like that.
Yeah, you had me jumping about the seat. You commentating, like, hold on one second.
Yeah, Jake the Snake, Paul. I was talking about Jake the Snake. I put out a rumor. I said, yeah, man, sources say that Coach Malachi is on the payroll of Team Jake Paul. I cannot confirm nor deny these allegations against me. You know what I mean? So, I put a rumor out on myself. Yeah, somebody gonna take it and run with it and say, yeah, that coon, that nigga, nigga a coon, that nigga, he on the payroll of Jake Paul. Jake Paul is a slick black fighter. If the Alphabet Boys, if y'all can adopt Caleb Plant and say that he's a slick black fighter and take a white fighter and say that he's a black fighter, I can do the same thing. I reserve the right to take Jake Paul and make him an honorary black fighter as well. If Officer Drew Titan, the meter maid, if you can take a white fighter and say that he's a black fighter, I can do the same thing that you can do.
True.
Talk to me, Uncle.
Hey, Coach, and I got my bad. Coach, and I got one more thing. Hey, I'm gonna send you a super chat too, because you deserve some money for commentating that fight. So everybody trying to send a coach at least, you can give him at least $5 if you ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm a super chat you later. Appreciate that. But I want to say this. I love your show because it's straightforward and it's honest, and we speak on giving the truth. And I want you to make sure when you watch that Tyson Fury brother interview, you watch the whole thing. So I don't know if Drew sent you a snippet or the whole thing.
He sent me a snippet. I didn't see the whole thing. Yeah, he sent me a snippet. I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah, the brother was reacting to. He wasn't just bringing it up out of nowhere. The brother was reacting to the reporter asking him, or actually telling him, like, "Yo, Deontay Wilder said he thought your brother lost. He said he thinks that Jake Paul won, and he didn't like the referee." And then once he said that, that's when the brother went off and snapped and said, "Yeah, that's the same dude who was accusing my brother for 2 years." So I just want to make sure that the whole thing is seen that way. It's not just seen like he just going at Deontay Wilder. It was him reacting to Deontay Wilder saying his brother lost to Jake Paul.
But you know what though? I totally agree with you on that. But you know what though? He revealed what was in his heart.
Oh, for sure. You've seen it come out.
Yeah, his brother. I know what you're saying. The reporter asked him the question. He didn't like what the reporter said, so he replied back. But he revealed what was in his heart. Like he could have said anything else in the world, but he chose to say that. You get what I'm saying? So I take that into consideration.
I mean, if somebody did that to your brother for 2 years, you would be pissed off too. Because the way he went about that was disgusting. And I think that's what, around the time when I found your show, like, look, if you want to whoop him and you ain't like how Mark Greenland did that, that's all good, dog. But don't trash no man's hard work and act like he cheated.
Yeah. And to this day, a lot of Wilder fans feel that way. They feel like Tyson Fury cheated. They feel like he had egg weights in his gloves. They feel like that Wilder has a dent on the side of his head because of autopsy. Like to this day, like you have a core fans that come from the LDBC community. They believe that right now to this day. They don't know that an autopsy is a surgical maneuver, a surgical procedure that is performed on dead bodies in order to determine the cause of death. They don't know that.
Right.
They really, they really ran with that. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying there's a certain group that really believes that. You know what I mean? So, but hey, Corey, thank you for calling the show, man, and thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, I'm gonna
get the proper content.
Yeah, I'm gonna cash that too, Coach. All
yes,
good, peace, bro.
Yeah, so the man just said what was in his heart. So, and I tell people, I'm like, dude, you do know an autopsy is a surgical procedure that is performed on dead bodies in order so the doctor can see what is the cause of death. You do know that, right? I gotta throw that out there. You know what I mean? Hold on, guys. Let me see what. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, it's G-Man. G-Man from London.
G-Man from London, talk to me.
Yeah, man. I was supposed to have to call you about this case.
I can't even hear you, man. Your phone breaking up. You going in and out.
Yeah, this guy, Deontay Wilder, it's like, I don't understand why people feel that they have to protect this guy at every single moment. So today, like, it's crazy how like his fans are saying, he meant to hug, he meant to truly meet and forgive him and that.
G-Man, can you call back, fam? I literally heard like 3 words of what you said. It's so much static on the phone, I can't hear you. It's a terrible reception.
I'll bring back.
Yes,
I'll bring back.
Yes, Let's give G-Man a round of applause. Hey, shout out to my sister Bless. Bless say they got them Obama phones in the UK. She said they got them Obama phones in the UK. Hey, let's get the lights up, man. We got to get the lights up. We got over 400 people in here, man. We need 100 more lights. As a matter of fact, let everybody know. Oh, no, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, we need 100 more likes. We need 100. Yeah, we need 100 more likes. Shout out to, let me address the chat. Swat Jones said West Side. Shout out to my sister Blessed. My sister, as a matter of fact, let me turn it up to here because I want to be able to hear the phone when it rings. I want to be able to hear the phone when it rings. Edgar Camacho, what's going on? He said he got that King Charles phone. hey, Edgar Camacho said he got that King Charles phone. Hey, shout out to, hey, what you say on Juicin say, all I know is nobody in a rush to fight Wilder. Crickets. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Nobody's in the rush to fight him. I think that, as a matter of fact, what the hell is going on my signal? Yeah, nobody's in the rush to fight him. I think Wilder is not in the rush to, he only wants to fight certain people for the right amount of money. You know what I mean? I think what Deontay Wilder's at in his career, especially if you listen to the interviews that he had over there in Saudi Arabia, he's looking for the right opponent so that he can, he can get paid the right amount of money that he wants. You get what I'm saying? Wilder ain't gonna fight anybody if the money ain't right. So you gotta look at that too. It ain't like it's a whole line of people that's avoiding Deontay Wilder. No, Wilder is not gonna fight any fighter if he's not getting paid the type of money that he wants. And he's what, 38, 39 years old? He's on the back nine of his career. So he's looking for that money too. So that's why Wilder's over there in the Middle East. But that doesn't change the fact of what I saw though. Carter, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Slim, what's good with you?
Ron, boyfriend, talk to me.
What's up? You know my slow that, man. I don't even know how is it that Deontay Wilder still have fans, bro? I don't get this shit. And it ain't even based off just skills. It's just based off the way all the excuses and shit. Like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, how is it cool to be a victim? Like, when did that become cool?
Well, in today's society, and I talked about this Friday, Ron boy, I say, man, I'm a man, dog. You a man. And as men, we got to stand up in the paint and represent ourselves as such. You can't call yourself a king if you don't have a kingdom. And if you believe that you are a God, then you gotta create things in the land so people can see your works. Because you judge a God by what he does, what he does, his works, right? God creates things, so stuff like that. So anytime you always talking about, man, look what they did to me. They did this to me. They did that to me. It makes you look weak.
Slim, like that's the biggest sore loser I've seen in boxing in decades. That motherfucker is the epitome of a sore loser, and motherfuckers is just shaking pom-poms and booty clapping because he got a right hand. He can't do shit else in a boxing ring. Like, come on, get over it. Look at more boxers. That can't be y'all savior, man. But at the end of the day, to me, he always been a sucker. He just had too many excuses for me, bro. But like I said, I'm breeded different.
Yeah,
I'm just breeding a little different than most of these motherfuckers, so that's cool. But no, what was you about to say?
No, but it's not all Tyson. It's not all Deontay Wilder fans. I mean, he do have a group of fans that do hold him accountable. I know you're talking about some of the ones who are just more. There's a certain group. But all of his fans are not this. I had to learn that. I learned that the hard way myself because I did lump all of them in the same.
I haven't really ran into those fans that really. Like I said, I don't know. I haven't really ran into no fan that don't hold them accountable for being a sucker. That I stand on them. Yeah, you're a sucker to me in my book. Cause too many excuses, man. Too many excuses. And and then he even looked more like a sucker because his wife looked more gangster than him. Ain't no motherfucking way I'm dapping a motherfucker up who I said put a hit out on my life.
Yeah. What?
Like, come on, that make sense.
What do you think I was wrong in my assessment of what I observed?
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you know.
You're not wrong. I mean, like I said, I saw the joint, Drew, because somebody else posted it. I know what this shit look like, but I mean, like I said, I've just never really been a fan. I just don't like the whole shenanigans. Everything about him to me is gimmicky. It's always been gimmicky, and I've always been consistent. I never liked him as a heavyweight. To me, he can't fight. I mean, he can fight. Let me get this wrong. He can't box. He can throw. He got a one trick. That's cool and cute and all. But that crackhead beat the shit out of him. So I ain't trying to hit no more. Y'all thought y'all had a cherry pick. It went wrong. That crackhead beat you, and it's over. And now you got your tails tucked, and they making fun of you. They literally made fun of him, and he don't even know it. He's so stupid. He don't even know it.
Yeah,
but it's cool. I mean, I like that.
No,
they made fun of Wilder.
Yeah, they did. I mean, as
soon
as I saw it, that's what I thought.
They was laughing at his bad ass, but it's cool. Ain't it? Like I said, like I said, I look at boxing different. I grew up different than a lot of motherfuckers. So they cool with the loser mentality, victimhood shit. That's fine, man. I'm just waiting for my man Jared Anderson to take over the reins and run it like it's supposed to be ran. And I just want to say, before you get to Steve Kim, special shout outs to Steve Kim for that spectacular article.
Yeah.
Right up he did on Sabril Matias, the best 140 pounder, and next to Batirbiev, man, he a fucking killer. That's all I got to say. Can't nobody beat him in 140. If you think otherwise, DM me and put your money up. But that's it, Mo. That's all I got to say on that shit.
Shout out to Ron Boyfriend, DC Stand Up. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I like Wilder. I betted on Deontay Wilder the first Tyson Fury fight and the second Tyson Fury fight. I bet against him on the third fight based on what I saw in the second fight. But I like what he's doing from a business standpoint. I like the fact that he is over there in the Middle East, him and Shelly Finkel, trying to negotiate the best deal possible for him. And especially if he can get that Arab money, I mean, you might as well. Now, I don't know who Wilder will fight next. I don't know that. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I don't know who he's going to fight next, but we have the legendary Steve Kim calling right now. And let my brother on. Hold on, Steve. We have the inevitable, the legendary. You know what I mean? Often, what you could say, often imitated, but can never be duplicated. The legendary Steve Kim. Let's give him a round of applause. Steve, what's going on, man?
Oh, good morning. It's very cold out here in Los Angeles.
You sound robotic. You sound robotic.
Oh, I sound robotic. How do I sound now?
Go ahead, say it. Talk again.
How do I sound now?
You still sound a little bit robotic. You want to try to call back or get in a new position?
Yeah, how about this? Why don't I call you a regular line? I see the 530 number. Let me call that right now.
Okay.
All right, bye.
All right, he's going to call back. Steve Kim is going to call back. I know. All jokes aside, I like what Wilder doing. I like the fact that he's over there in the Middle East. Shit, I think a lot of fighters, a lot of you American fighters, y'all better wisen up. Devin Haney was over there. Who else was over there? Of course, Mike Tyson was over there, but he's not boxing anymore. Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Yeah, we know that's social media boxing, but those guys, I'm pretty sure they might do about 1 million pay-per-view buys. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Call him. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Steve Kim on his Obama phone. What's going on?
Steve, you sound a whole lot better, man. Steve Kim, talk to me, fam.
I'm doing well. Great to have you join me or me join you on your show. By the way, yesterday, great job. I'm going to call you the Black Don Dunphy. Your blow-by-blow call of Paul Fury. It almost had me buying the fight. I'm like, God, I'm missing a hell of a fight here with this crab in a bucket referee. Just making things fun out there. I'm like, you know what? No. Be disciplined. I'm gonna say, listen to coach. Coach is making this the fight of the millennium. Ollie Frazier, Barrero Morales, Gaddy Ward. And I'm like, oh, my God, what am I missing? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Coach is up and around here. He's trying to take my money. But anyway, great to join you, Coach, man. How you doing?
Hey, Steve. Boy, I had so much fun last night calling that fight, bro. Because I'm a big fan of Jake the Snake Paul. I felt like he got robbed. I was like, hey, Tommy Fury, man. I'm not gonna honestly. All jokes aside, I felt like Tommy Fury was carrying Jake Paul. Now look at it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Me and Whitlock talked about it for today's show about, is this the end of this whole thing? I don't think it's the end, but I think it's different now that he lost. Don't you think? That's kind of the allure is how far could he go with this?
Yeah. How far can he go with this? Steve, I read your article. This is a really, really good article. The article that I have on the screen, guys, Steve Kim wrote this article. As you can see a picture of Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. And the title is Boxing is Broken. And, me being a copywriter, that struck a chord with me. I said, I really like this. Boxing is broken. That caught my, even with the pictures. I said, let me read this article. I read it. And you said some very, very interesting things. How long did it take you to write this article?
This thing took me a couple of hours. The way I write the articles, and this is more of an op-ed. I didn't have a lot of quotes, so sometimes when I write an article, Coach, getting the interviews and then transcribing them word for word so you don't misquote somebody actually takes more time than the actual typing out, just putting the pen to pad, if you will. And this is something that we talked about. The genesis of this happened, Coach. We are at Field Trainings for our monthly boxing dinner. I get together with writers, people in the business, trainers, managers. Every once in a while, a couple of fighters will join us. And when you're in L.A., Coach, you are definitely going to get red carpet treatment at Field Trainings. We're going to have a good time there. Eat like kings, drink like winos. But anyway, so Doug Fisher said, Steve, we're starting a series this year about how can we improve boxing. And he goes, and Doug said, look, you'd probably be the perfect guy to write it if you're interested. And I said, sure. So those other things we're going to talk about, that's only chapter 1. So we'll talk about that. But there's some other ideas that I have, because you're never going to fix boxing. But clear in the first opening paragraph that we're trying to improve boxing, which will always be flawed. And look, when I say boxing is broken, I didn't really come up with that. That was kind of like Doug Fisher's idea. Also, in terms of the graphics, I thought those graphics were excellent. They are done by Brian Hardy. So I got to give credit where credit is due. I think graphically it looks very good. I know some people disagree with the article, but again, a lot of this is just based on historical facts and how I believe these things played out and how these things can be remedied.
You know what, Steve? It's one thing I really, really agree with as it relates to this article. Because on YouTube, you have social media boxing fans, and I don't like to categorize social media boxing fans in the bucket with boxing fans. Boxing fans, someone like yourself, you've been in the game for a long time. You know the historical aspects of boxing. There's a lot that you do know. You can actually break down fight film, a lot of the classic fights. You know the backstories of a lot of this stuff. Social media boxing fans go off with sound bites, pictures, images. What I notice about social media boxing fans, they are fans of networks and promoters. And I have proof, because I looked at many different platforms, and all they talk about is if you're not with a certain promoter or a certain network, then you're nobody. If you are a certain race or ethnicity, or the same race or ethnicity as the individuals, if you're not with the certain network or a certain advisory company, they call you different racial names and stuff like that they ordinarily they would get offended by if someone said that was of the opposite race. So what I noticed, I said, you know what, man? And that's what made me come up with my commandments with the help of some of the subscribers. I said, you know what, man? These are not boxing fans. These are fans of promotional companies and networks. These guys don't want to see the best fighters. They want to see fights on certain networks. And if you're not with that particular network, then they defecate on anything other than that, right? And they bring other issues in boxing that has nothing to do with boxing. You get what I'm saying? Racial issues, critical race theories, Just there's a whole lot of stuff going on, but that's a whole nother can of worms. I don't want to open that up. But I wanted to ask you this. What got me was you had part one. You say, you say boxing is broken. How do we fix it? You said the network divide. Break that down for all of those who may say, tell your fighter to sign the contract. This fighter ducking, he scared of my fighter, yada, 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 yada. Break down what is the network divide in your opinion?
Yeah, Coach, the network divide is just that. What we have with the modern day boxing business, and this has gone on for a while, but it's never really been as bad as it has been the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years. Basically, there are 3 or 4 galaxies of boxing. There's the PBC galaxy, which is on Showtime now, and it was on Fox and then various other networks, but they were very exclusive to their galaxy. Top Rank's galaxy was obviously ESPN. Golden Boys was the Zone. And then you had Matchroom, which is the Zone, and for a long time it was Sky Sports. So what happens is, if you are a top-ranked fighter, you're only going to fight on ESPN for the most part against other fighters at top rank or against smaller promoters who do not have a network deal. And I've written about this for a while, that in a perfect world, every network would just say, we have XYZ amount of dollars for boxing, but we are not giving all of our dates to one promoter. In other words, we want A versus B, best matchup possible. We don't give a damn who your promoter is. So let me give you an example. Roy Jones in the 90s was this incredible fighter, best fighter in the world. The problem was most of the like Joe Calzaghe, Nigel Benn, Steve Collins, Chris Eubank were all with Showtime because they were aligned with, I believe, Frank Warren and or Don King. So this is the problem. While Roy Jones was one of the pillars of HBO, he was basically the Sopranos of their boxing franchise. He was that important. He was going to have to face all his missed mandatories, but none of the names I mentioned, because there was no way either side was going to send another guy to the other side of the network. Now, Coach, this is the funniest thing. I learned something here. So I was talking to Kerry Davis, who at that point was probably the second or third in charge at HBO Sports. He was a big fan of Roy Jones, and we used to argue all the time about the Roy Jones mystique, and is he overrated? Is he protected? And he said, Steve, you're absolutely right. Joe Calzaghe would be his best fight. It's an unbelievable fight. The problem is, from a corporate standpoint, if we allow him to fight on Showtime, we would have to answer to our bosses, and they would ask, hey, guys, how come the past 15, 20 fights when we spent $50 million on this guy, why is his best fight on another network? And it happens a lot. Floyd Mayweather, when he was at 130, I thought, was an excellent fighter. Problem was, he was never going to be able to face the likes of Acelino Freitas and Joel Casamayor because they were ensconced at Showtime.
Right.
So this is really nothing new. And let me give you more of a common example of how a network deal and a promoter can shield a fighter from tough fights because they have a network deal and one doesn't. I think you and I agree. We would much rather see Jose Ramirez fight Regis Prograis in his mandatory rather than Richard Comey, right? We're in agreement on that, right?
Absolutely.
Well, here's the problem. Regis Prograis is with Probellum, who has no TV deal, but Jose Ramirez is with Top Rank. Top Rank had a date, and they said, you know what, Jose? Forget that Prograis. A little bit too dangerous, a little bit too tough, maybe cost a little too much. You could fight Richard Comey on one of our dates. See what the problem is with that? You're not getting the best fight. You're getting the best fight that Top Rank is willing to make for ESPN. And meanwhile, Regis Prograis, who I believe is an outstanding fighter, cannot get a fight. Now, let me give you an example, though, of some exceptions. About 3-4 years ago, when the Zone had $1 billion in their coffers and they're throwing out money like it was never going to run out, which it did, the Maurice Hooker was a matchroom fighter, right? They signed him to a deal.
I remember that.
They offered Jose Ramirez and Top Rank so much money that even Bob Arum said, we can't allow you or us to turn this down. Go ahead, go on the Zone, go get that other belt and bring it back to ESPN, because that was like a $4 million payday. And so even Bob Arum said, look, okay, forget about it. Don't worry about it. Just come back to ESPN with 2 belts, do your job. It does happen once in a while. And one of the other theories that I'm going to have, and I know some of you fans and your great listeners are not going to like this, I actually think pay-per-view is needed. It's a necessary evil, and I'll explain why. Because in situations like Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, without a pay-per-view platform where everyone can share and make some money, how do you do that fight?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because in order for the fighters to get the type of money that they want, you're going to have to put it on pay-per-view, because they're not going to fight for
Right, think about it.
Yeah.
Coach, Don King and Bob Arum for years hated each other. That was like spy versus spy in Mad Magazine. But when it came down to make Trinidad De La Hoya, they didn't care about the networks. They said, okay, this thing's big enough to be pay-per-view. Let's do this. Let's cut out the cash. Let's make a lot of money. And so that's where the pay-per-view platform is actually very valuable. The problem is 2 things. Number 1, there's simply too many pay-per-views. We've lowered the bar on what is a pay-per-view fight. And number 2, and I'm going to talk about this, these pay-per-views need to be much closer to $50 than $80.
Right. That I'm not going to lie. That was one of the motivating factors why I bought that fight last night. Jake Paul, I said it's only $50. And then plus I do pay for ESPN. I have the app, the ESPN Plus or whatever. I pay for that. It's like $7.99 or something a month, or $10 something a month. I said, let me go ahead and pay. I'll pay for that fight. It was only $50.
You know what's interesting? Coach, that's interesting you say that, because I spoke to Bob Arum on Friday, had to discuss a few things. And he was the promoter of this event stateside, Top Rank, right? Their branding was all over it.
Right.
He actually said to me, go, Steve, we're only going with the $50 price point for this because we're going to do a test run here. Does a lower price actually equate to more buys? So if this thing does well, and I don't know what their real projections are, but if it exceeds expectations or hits certain benchmarks, I have a feeling that some of the upcoming Top Rank events may be a little bit less than they were, let's say, the last couple of years.
Okay. And then the thing is, I think Top Rank will probably be more economical with how they do pay-per-views. Explain this to me. How did ESPN, with Top Rank, become a part of this event that happened in Saudi Arabia yesterday with Jake Paul and Tommy Fury?
Well, they probably just made a deal for the platform. I mean, look, you're going to need someone to actually promote the event, which means sending out press releases, which means sending out social media things, and there's a natural machine. Remember this, ESPN and ESPN Plus are basically aligned with Top Rank.
Okay.
So if you want to be on that platform and have that type of push, and look, Top Rank has a really professional staff of social media in terms of a whole team, publicists that know how to get to certain people. It's one thing to be independent. The problem with being independent is you're actually on an island by yourself, and you may not have the reach. So I don't know what the exact deal was on this, but I think that Top Rank made a deal because they're thinking, you know what? We can make some money here. We've put no money into this. Think about this. Jake Paul has never actually fought for a traditional promoter, right? He's made deals with networks. He's been on Showtime before.
Right.
But I just think Top Rank wanted to kind of get into this because, let's face it, look at Bob Arum's history. He's actually done stuff like Evil Knievel. But when we say he's a promoter, it's not just boxing. I don't think that Bob Arum has any interest in social media boxers. What he has interest is in making money.
Making money, yep, absolutely. That's the bottom line. Steve, you
and Coach, it's really interesting. Going back to my article, a large focus of it was on Spence Crawford. Now, we know what's happened the last 6 months, and you can't say that it's necessarily a network divide.
Right.
Because Terence Crawford has been a free agent since November of 2021 after he beat Sean Porter, right? So Here's the problem, though. Sean Spence blurted out several years ago, you're on the wrong side of the street.
Right.
Well, that's the divide that I'm talking about, because what happened is that Sean Spence, given that he was Al Haymon
you mean Errol Spence.
Excuse me, yes, Errol Spence was on the PBC Al Haymon side of the street, which meant either Fox or Showtime.
Right.
Terence Crawford was part of the Top Rank galaxy, which meant he was specifically on ESPN. Now, this is what took place. Both fighters were actually exorbitantly paid because they were not necessarily paying for the quality of fights all the time. They were paying for exclusivity. I asked someone at Top Rank a couple years ago when they were having issues with Crawford, when Crawford was making some comments that he wasn't promoted correctly, and it came out that his actual minimum was $3.5 million per fight, but he was making more than that, which surprised a lot of people.
Right.
So I asked someone at Top Rank, I said, well, why'd you pay him that much? He's not really worth that much. He said, Steve, you have to understand, when we signed him in the fall of 2018, we were just beginning our deal with ESPN.
Okay.
The Zone was trying to sign everybody, so we had to lock up our guy. In other words, you had to overpay your own stable to keep him on your own network. And so that became a flaw. You're not paying for the quality of fighter or fight. You're paying to keep this guy right on your network. That goes for everybody, not just Top Rank, not just Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, not just PBC. So what happens is every fighter basically is now overpaid. So now Spence and Crawford are making a lot of money for fighting guys that, whatever. Here's the problem. So when they come together, and I told you this about a year and a half ago, here's the problem. When you get overpaid for every other fight, when it comes down to the fight that you want, those guys are really going to want to be overpaid.
Yeah.
Because there was not an economic reality at play.
Right. You know what, Steve? You hit the nail right on the head, because I see the argument all the time. You hear people online saying that, yeah, man, Crawford was overpaid in this fight and yada, 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 yada. I'm like, yeah, but Errol Spence is overpaid as well. It's not just It's not just one guy. Like Matchroom was overpaying fighters as well. So basically, all of these different promotional companies, well, PBC is an advisory company that, you know, quote unquote / promotion or whatever, with promoters. But that company, Top Rank, Matchroom, they was overpaying all of these fighters that's supposed to be star fighters, right? And now that all of these fighters are overpaid, you can't tell these guys, hey, look, we want to reset the market. We want to reset the market.
You can't. They don't want to be the way. Coach, they don't want to be the ones. They'll say, yeah, you got to reset it. Do it in a couple years after I retire.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing. I'm going to say something that's going to stun you and a lot of your audience. I don't blame Al Haymon specifically for Spence Crawford not happening.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you why.
No, me neither. I get it now.
It's the system. It's the current system that everyone. Now, you can argue, well, Al Haymon raised the market for all the fighters in 2015 by overpaying his guys. Right. But you know what the truth of the matter is? And I've been told this by people in the business. When the Zone came into business in 2018, guess what? They raised the market even more. And then Top Rank had to overpay their guys. So everyone's kind of to blame here. So, and guess what? Al Haymon is like any other promoter or businessman. They have a right to not lose money in a business proposition. Now, you can argue he's partly to blame for the current ecosystem that exists. You're right. But at the end of the day, guess what? I was told by Top Rank they were kind of relieved to be out of the Crawford business because, number one, they were sick of getting blamed for Crawford not getting the Spence fight. But here's the thing. They didn't want to lose money either if they ever did get the Spence fight made.
Right.
This is a business.
Yeah, I get it. And I was the one blaming Al for a minute, but I get it now. Errol Spence is right. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Shout out to Drew. Drew said Steve is right. He said Steve is right. That's why Saudis are making deals with fighters and auction the rights to networks who pays the most. Okay, cool. Thank you, Drew.
Hey, Drew, what's going on? Drew, good guy.
Yeah, Drew is a good guy. You know, you hit the nail right on the head. So these fighters have to, you know, the market is going to, and I say this on the show, I say the market is going to have to reset itself, man. These fighters that's getting paid all of this money, you know, like, dude, like none of these guys are on that level. And I say, listen, Crawford, Spence, those guys on the same level. I don't care what you say. You can say, you know, one guy may have sold more one pay-per-view over here versus the other one, but none of these guys are huge mega stars like that. You know, on YouTube, on certain YouTube channels and on Twitter they are, but outside of YouTube channels and Twitter, no, a lot of these guys are doing pretty much down there the same thing. They're not you know, and I know that some of them have a fan base that lives their lives vicariously through their fighter. So they feel like if they hear that they fighter made a certain amount of money or driving a certain car, that particular social media boxing fan is driving that kind of car. I'm making that kind of money as well. But the reality of the situation is none of these guys are really on that level like that. And this is no shade to those fighters, but that's why I say, Steve, I'll be glad when a lot of these old fighters that's in the way right now, I'll be glad when they process out, when they get out of the way. Because I feel like once they get out of the way, we can bring everything back to some type of normalcy.
You know, Coach, that's why when people say Jake Paul is overpaid and a joke, I completely disagree.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting paid what he can derive.
Right.
Look, because he may actually do a lot of pay-per-views, and guess what? Because of his own persona, the brand that he has created, and the work that he puts in on a day-to-day basis that he's done for years, I don't care if he's the worst fighter in the world. I don't care if he can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag. But if he's doing over 500,000 pay-per-views and it looks like it's going to do because there's a lot of let's face it, the Showtime card with Subriel Matias, which I really enjoyed, didn't get any type of publicity coming into last weekend.
It didn't.
We have to be honest about that.
It didn't.
And I think Subriel Matias is a hell of a fighter. No one cared. People did care about Jake Paul. They did care about, and you know what's interesting? And this ties into it, Coach. Another thing keeping a lot of these fights from happening, or what hinders a lot of the negotiations, is that most contracts, or all of them nowadays, have a minimum guarantee for each fighter. So let's say you're Spencer Crawford, no matter who you fight, you are guaranteed X, Y, Z. So for Crawford, under his last top-ranked deal was $3.5 million. So that's a lot of money. So the problem is with most pay-per-view events
he was getting paid more than that, though, right? I heard he had a $3.5 million. That was the minimum, but each fight,
but he got to about 4.5 to 5, and by the time he got to Sean Porter, Top Rank gave him 6 because that's kind of like their last-ditch effort to say, hey, look, do you want to work with us or not? He still got his 6. Terence decided to go his own way. Now, the problem is, and I read this book called The War.
I have it.
And I told you about the book.
I have it. I had a book right there, The War.
Yeah,
as a matter
great
of fact.
job.
Yeah, matter of fact, let me get it so I can show the audience. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, so it's a great book by Don Stradley who talks about the history leading into Hagler-Hearns and how that fight was put together and the context behind the two careers. That book right there, yes. So the thing is, and I asked Bob about this, I said, Bob, I noticed in that fight when it came to Hagler, you never had a set guarantee. You would always figure out what's the opponent, what can we do with this fight, how many people would it draw, is it a pay-per-view, how much money can I get from HBO? But his offers to Marvin Hagler would fluctuate every single fight. And I said, well, Bob, was it easier to make deals that way? I asked him this on Friday, and he said, yeah, of course it was. Here's the difference. I never had a long-term deal with Hagler. I just went fight to fight on a handshake. You cannot find fighters today to a deal where it's so open-ended if it is a long-term deal, because I'll tell you why. Because another promoter will say, hold on, we'll guarantee you $2 million. You can fight King Kong, Godzilla, Steve Kim, or Coach Malachi. And then you're going to lose the fighter. So there's a lot of issues that are layered into this as to why it's difficult to make fights. Now, Coach, here's the other issue, and I mentioned this. Better BF B-Ball is a fight I think most of our audience would love to see, right? That's a great fight.
Right.
You know what the problem with that fight is? That fight's not pay-per-view worthy. It's got 2 Russian guys. It'll never sell. So here's the problem. Now you're in no man's land. Now you're going to have the zone say, no, we're B-Ball. We've done a lot of B-Ball fights. And then you have Top Rank and ESPN saying, no. We've done a lot of better BF fights. We're the bigger platform in the United States. How do you resolve that? See, this is a pretty complicated thing. It's not just the fighters not wanting to fight each other. I think that point is overstated.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, the only people who say that a lot is, and I've said it as well. I said it as well. I'm gonna tell you why I said it. Let me get the super chat out of the way. Shout out to Swift. He said, "Hey Steve, what are your thoughts on the Skills Challenge promotional initiative out of Saudi Arabia?" He said, "What do you think conceptually?" And what will come of it. Before I get to that, I don't want to lose my point. It was something that you just said. What did you say, Steve? About the fighters. the fighters not being afraid of each other, not want to fight each other, that's not it. Now, the reason why I said that I believe that, Al Haymon didn't want this fight with Crawford, and I believe that Spence didn't want it as well. The reason why I said that is because, I'm going to tell you why, because it was a lot of things that Spence said, about the wrong side of the street, wrong promotion of the company. You got to get a belt. Your baby mama got to be bow-legged. Just a whole lot of, it would just seem to be always something, okay, you got to do this now. Now you got to do that now. Now you got to, 70-30, 70-30, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, take whatever we give you. It would just seem to be always something, as it relates to this one fighter. When other fights that you've had in the past, you've never said this before in life. So that's why I said that. That's one. But what I use to kind of back up what I was saying, Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Now, I don't know Tank. I don't know Ryan. I don't know neither one of those guys. But I'm like, how come neither one of those guys said that you with the wrong network, you're on the wrong side of the street, wrong promotional company, you got to get a belt? How come neither one of them said that it seems that they push their promoters or their handlers to make that fight happen no matter what? And I didn't see that coming from Spence versus what I see coming from Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Am I right in that, or am I wrong?
Coach, I think you're absolutely right about that.
Mm.
And I will give Tank and Ryan credit. They both pushed for their fight, and they each had enough profile and power and influence within their companies to really push the issue. Now, with Tank, I believe there's some problems. Look, they want to get him paid before he has to face some legal consequences towards his actions, whatever. I believe with Ryan Garcia, he doesn't want to fight like these lesser fights. He just wants to get paid as much money as possible, and he really pushed the issue. But again, there is an underlying point that you brought up, Coach. You got to have two fighters who actually press the issue and tell their handlers, you work for me. Yeah. I want this fight. Make it happen. Now, but with that said, those fighters have to have enough power to actually have their promoters and managers say, you know what, you're right. Because a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys are they're happy, or they're just slotted twice a year underneath the promoter's television dates that they have, and that's it. But I think Ryan and Tank are a little bit different. Look, Tank's actually a draw, at least in terms of selling tickets.
That's true.
And then Ryan has a really big following on social media. Now, we're going to find out what that means in terms of commercial value. It's one thing to follow someone on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter, but will you push that button to spend $75 for a night of entertainment on pay-per-view? This is what I find interesting about all these people saying that this fight's going to do over 1 million buys. Coach, it's been kind of proven. Tank Davis has never done more than 200,000 pay-per-view buys. Ryan Garcia has never been on pay-per-view. So I don't know if there's a track record we're going to make these proclamations that we're going to do 1 million buys. So, that's kind of that's a tough one. Good luck to them. I understand they're getting paid really well.
Yeah.
But they did get the fight. And you know the problem that I have with Errol?
What's that?
I kind of agree with you. Errol, out of the two guys, I thought put more roadblocks in the way of that fight than Terence Crawford.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, I believe that, and a lot of his fan base don't feel that way. They feel that, hey, Crawford should have got down on his knees, begged, don't take anything, don't get paid anything. Do what Jamel Tallo said? You need to be quiet, humble yourself, do what Spence tell you to do. You know what I mean? Like they came up with all these different roadblocks. Like I've never seen nothing like this before in my life. Like just you got to know how to do certain things and this and that and yada yada. I'm like, bro, it's just a fight. It's just a fight.
Yeah, and by the way,
yeah.
When Terence Crawford was with Top Rank, I was told more than once that Top Rank said, if we're going to do the Spence Crawford fight, they understood they were going to probably lose money, but they felt as though they kind of needed to do it just to increase the value of Crawford. What they wanted to do was the same structure for Fury Wilder 2 and 3, which is a joint promotion using both platforms to co-promote the event, and each side pay their own boxer. But for some reason, the PBC balked at it, and I'll tell you why they did. they had a lot more welterweights that were probably more marketable than what Terence Crawford has. Because if you look at the heavyweight division, one of the reasons why Wilder did the Fury fight is I don't think the heavyweight division had nearly as many options for him as welterweight did for Errol Spence.
That's true. That is true. Because all of the heavyweights were not signed. They didn't have all of the heavyweights. I mean, the marquee heavyweights. Steve, address this super chat right here. He said, "Hey, Steve, what are your thoughts on the Skills Challenge promotional initiative out of Saudi Arabia?" That's part one of the question.
What exactly is that? Is that a promotional company, or are they putting together a series of skills challenges?
Yeah.
I do know this with the Middle East. I believe that they will become more and more of a factor in terms of big fights, because in this current market, with a lot of fighters not being necessarily realistic to the true marketplace, instead of having fights in Las Vegas or let's say Dallas or LA or New York, even though it may not fit, you may have to just stick this in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, all the places down there that are going to overpay for fights, because they look at this as a lost leader. This has a lot to do with the tourism business and also rehabilitating the image of that part of the country. So, but I don't exactly know what the Skills Challenge promotional initiative is, to be honest with you.
All right, Steve. Another thing. Okay, so basically, Saudi Arabia. I saw Deontay Wilder over there, and Deontay Wilder was saying that, hey man, Saudi Arabia is pretty much is where it's at right now. They're putting the money up for the fights. They're doing, they're putting the money up for the fights and stuff like that. And him and Shelly Finker were over there. He said they've been negotiating, trying to do business over there, negotiate deals and stuff like that. And it seems like in the interview, Wilder was very, very sincere. It was as though he had an epiphany. He's on the back nine of his career. He's 38, 39 years old right now. Do you think that some of the American boxing, some of the fighters over here in America, will they wake up out of their delusion and realize, it's just me saying this, I say that the power structure have shifted from making big, huge fights in America, though the heydays of Vegas and the Mike Tyson and the Floyd Mayweathers and the Manny Pacquiao's and Oscar De La Hoyas. To me, it seems that that is pretty much going to be damn near a thing of the past. They're just saying to me. What say you?
Coach, look, the United States will always get its share of big fights because we still have casinos that spend a lot of money to buy fights, and we still have networks that make pretty good amounts of investment. Although it's going to be interesting to see the status of Showtime and Paramount moving forward. I've heard some interesting things about what they might do. I don't think they're going to get completely out of the boxing business. They just may do it at a lower cost, lower level of shows. Mm-hmm. But look, I'm going to repeat myself. Yes, I do think the Middle East remains an option for a lot of fights, or certain fights, because they don't want every fight. They want a certain A-level, marquee level of fights. And Eddie Hearn, I believe, has a contract to bring 3 or 4 events a year. So right there, you already know fights like Bivol and Ramirez, which took place in November, they're going to get those level of fights. We've already seen Anthony Joshua there. And Deontay Wilder, in my view, has had a come-to-Jesus moment. There's no doubt about it. Mm. He probably will never admit it publicly, but in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I should have signed that deal with the Zone to fight Anthony Joshua for over $100 million. That money, from what I understand, was guaranteed. But again, and let's go back to my article, Deontay Wilder was not allowed to take that deal, not for his own good, but to protect Al Haymon's relationship with a network, or the networks that were aligned with the PBC back then.
Wow.
That's it.
So it had nothing to do with the benefit of Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is a fighter.
Think about it. If you're Coach Malachi Williams and you have a promotional stable of 3 or 4 of the best fighters, and you're looking to make a television deal, and you're in that office in New York or LA, one of the first things that you have to sell to me as a network, if I want to work with Coach Malachi Promotions, is, okay, well, who do you have under your stable? So when Al Haymon and the PBC, and they already had networks. The problem is you got to stock those networks with real, legitimate attractions. And I don't care what anyone says about Deontay Wilder. Mm. He's an attraction.
Yeah, he is.
I actually appreciate the fact that when Deontay Wilder fought, no matter what his flaws were, no matter what the imperfections were, shit happened. It was fun. Deontay Wilder has never given me a boring night of fighting. Never. I appreciate that. So, but, and if even though Al Haymon was quote unquote the advisor, he could not actually do what's best for Deontay by letting him go to the zone, because it would have weakened the PBC and his networks. That's the truth of why that decision. It's not even about ducking AJ or any of that. That's really not the case, to be honest with you.
Yeah, shout out to Drew. I did see you super chat, Drew. You said Will have stars like Roland. He said Will have stars like Rolando there. He said Will Davis Garcia have stars like Ronaldo there. Yeah. I got you, Drew. Let's see. Hold on, we got another super chat, Steve. Swift said that the Skills Challenge is an initiative to try to break down barriers and work with all networks, all promoters, to make sure the biggest fights happen. It's for the fans and for the fighters to get their money. What say you about that now?
Okay, you know what, Coach? In theory, that is a great initiative. That is certainly a great mission statement. I don't know how realistic it is, because if you're ESPN, do you want all your best content when it comes to boxing to be in the middle of Sunday afternoon in the Middle East? I don't, and here's the thing, and I've written about this, I don't know how healthy it is for the sport of boxing that if you're going to take all your big events out of the UK, because the British still come to boxing in droves.
They do.
Okay, boxing is still very much a major sport in England, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
It is. So I truly think that any AJ Usyk fight, I would much rather have that in Wembley Stadium than in the Middle East. I think it'd be much better for the fans.
Yeah.
And as someone who's an American that has been able to go to a lot of fights as a media member, I know how special it is for fans to go to a big night of boxing that they can afford in the United States, whether it's at the Staples Center, Barclays Center, or at the MGM Grand. That's how you create more fans. But if you're just going to systematically ship every single fight overseas to the Middle East, I'm not so sure you can grow the sport that way, Coach.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's going to be very difficult to grow the sport. Now, for the fighters to get paid the money they want, that'd be good for them. You know what I mean? I would think so. I don't know exactly how much the Saudis are paying per fight. I hear that Jake Paul, they made some good money. They're getting like a certain percentage of the pay-per-view. After everybody clears, get their cut. I think what Jake Paul is doing in boxing is pretty good, to be honest with you. Do I look at him as a real boxer? No. But what I'm saying is, from a business standpoint, I like what he's doing. And also, Steve, I think that a lot of me having a marketing background, understanding social media, keyword research, algorithms very well, I think a lot of these fighters today, and I told Terence Crawford this when I spoke to him in Omaha, Nebraska, I'm like, man, y'all don't understand the power of this social media. You can really, really utilize this social media, let people see your personality. I was at the gym, this dude was laughing, kikiing, playing, talking, like it's shocking because when you don't see that side of him. You know what I mean? But I had to go to Omaha. I was there for 4 days. I had to go to Omaha, be around all of those brothers there to understand that city. And when you go there, I don't know if you've been there. If you go there and just get the feel of it, I get it now. I get it now. Huge chip on your shoulder. Omaha, Nebraska, underdog. People, defecating. They talk bad about us. This and that. Crawford feels slighted. He has a huge chip on his shoulder. They read every press clipping. He probably got a wall. Bro, I'm dead. I'm not being funny. Like I think between shout out to Bo Mac, shout out to Red, shout out to Saul, shout out to Bernie the Boxer, shout out to Bud. I'm pretty sure they got a wall somewhere. And TT, shout out to TT. They probably have a wall somewhere with all of the press clippings. Like he told me, all them dudes who talk bad about me and on YouTube and social media, he said, I'll never get them dudes an interview. Why would I get them an interview? He made
that clear last week, Coach.
Yeah, he said, why would I? He told me to my face, why would I give them an interview? And they supposed to be for their own people, black people. He said, it's my own people that's attacking me. It's my own people that's saying derogatory. This is what he told me. I interviewed him. This is what he told me.
Coach, you know what I found interesting?
Yeah.
And I used to say this 3-4 years ago, and certain people hate me for it, but I didn't give a shit. I hated when people would say, about Terence Crawford that he's working for the white man. As if somehow that's like this terrible thing. Never mind, he had one of the most favorable deals in all of boxing, right? He's been one of the top 4 or 5 fighters in the world in terms of how lucrative his career has been.
Right.
But what I did not like is he's working for the white man. Okay? And so I used to tweet this, and then people hate me to this day.
That's from the conscious community.
I would actually, and I told this to someone in Crawford's camp. We're in New York at Jimmy's Corner. I said, next time someone says that, you ought to ask them this question. And I've asked the question. I'd say, okay, for all of you saying that Terence Crawford is wrong for working with the white man, show me your pay stub, rub out what you're making, because that's not our business. But let's see, who do you work for? Who's your boss?
Exactly. And see, these guys come from, a lot of these guys come from the conscious community. And this is what it is. And this came from the LDBC. They want to come with the pro-black this and that, yada, yada, yada. And that's fine. You want to be revolutionaries. You want to be the YouTube Huey P. Newton. You want to be the YouTube Marcus Garvey, the YouTube Malachi York. Fine, so be it. But the reality of the situation is, you know, you have a white boss yourself. YouTube is owned by a white company, Google, and when you get your direct deposits from Google AdSense, it's coming from the very same white people who you are saying that you don't like this particular fighter because he's working for the white man. Last time I checked,
and Coach,
go ahead.
And Coach, BLK Prime is, I believe it's a quote unquote black company, so he makes a deal with them to get paid very well, and all of a sudden, it's not about him getting his bag. It's not about him working, you know, with his own people. I'm like, well, wait a minute. This guy can't win then.
Yeah, no,
he cannot win in your eyes.
Nah, what it is, and I tell you, these guys are not boxing fans. Listen, Steve, I understand that mindset. And I tell people time and time again, that used to be me. I was in the Nation of Islam. I was very, very narrow-minded. I was very racist. I was very closed-minded myself. I lacked critical thinking skills. I started developing that as time went on. When I started developing critical thinking skills, I'm like, wait a minute, man, some of this stuff ain't making sense. And this is what's going on. This is why I talk the way I talk online, because I understand it. That was me. I was very emotionally reactive. If you know the mental gymnastics that I had to go through in order to break certain things down. Well, I'm gonna support this person who look like me, but this other dude over here, he'll cool another time sell out. So when I hear these guys say this online, I understand them very well, because that was me in 91, 92, 93, 94, all throughout the 90s, all throughout the first half of the 2000s. I snapped out of my delusion in 2016. So I was deluded for like 25 years. I was, deluded. But let me get these super chats out the way. Shout out to the Axiom.
Yeah. Hey, okay.
He said, is Tom Brown out of the picture? He said, can we see Richard Schaefer and Al Haymon unite soon? What do you think, Steve?
Okay. Tom Brown is the head of TGB, which is basically more or less the in-house promoter for the large majority of PBC shows. I don't think he's out of the picture. I think that there was an announcement from Andy Ruiz that his contract with TGB ran out, but he's still with Al Haymon. I don't expect Tom Brown to go anywhere. His daughter, Brittany Goosen, does a lot of work for the PBC in terms of logistics. So I don't think that's going to affect anything there. And as for Richard Schaefer and Al Haymon, at one point, they were very closely aligned. I believe that relationship has changed the last 3-4 years, and he went off to Probellum.
Right.
And I don't know what's going on with that company. But I don't expect them to be Peaches and Herb and reunite anytime soon.
Reunited, and it feels so good. Hey, that was the song there, boy. Peaches and Herb. Peaches and Herb. Hey, shout out to Bless 365.
Hey, okay.
She's dropping that quarter of a dub. She said, hi, Steve. How do you feel about Wilder Fury 4?
God, Bless, I wouldn't mind it, but in an era when fighters fight so often, I don't know if I want to see that fight again. Furious of boxing, where we get like 10 of them, or Police Academy, which almost had like 7 too many. I wouldn't be completely opposed to it, Bless, but I would like to see Usyk fight Fury, AJ get in the mix, and then if we get around to a 4th chapter, I get it. But one of the things about today's game that I don't like, guys, is that when fighters only fight once or twice a year, I'd like to see them fight different guys. There's not enough opponent variation in my view. So again, Wilder Fury, I'm not completely against it, but I would like to see them mix up with other guys before they circle back to it.
Shout out to Christopher, man. Shout out to Christopher for dropping that quarter of a dub super chat. If you want a question, you got to drop $5. That's the price of entry if you want to ask Steve Kim a question. It has to be $5 or above.
So Steve Kim is live, so drop a 5.
Yeah,
Come on, folks.
Yeah, anything less than $5, I'm not going to address it. Shout out to Christopher again. Dropping out half a dub. He said Fury earned his stripes to mock the bomb squad phrase. He said, remember Wilder's long reign started to build racism, and Fury's goal was to shut that down. And he did. Don't be mad. Our brother failed us. Okay.
You know, Coach, can I say something as someone that's actually kind of known Deontay from a distance since I first interviewed him in 2014? He actually fought on the undercard of Sean Porter Kell-Brook at the StubHub Center. I actually think Wilder's a decent individual. I think he feels a lot of pressure to perform for certain people that he's aligned himself with and to stay on code. I actually like Deontay. I think he's meant a lot to the game, brought some color and some excitement to the heavyweight division. He was an American face to the glamour division of the sport. But sometimes he says things because I think he thinks he has to say them without realizing the ramifications of them. I'm not going to lie to you. I am not excusing what he has said on certain points, but I do understand why he might be doing them, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand it either. I think, me personally, I think he got caught up with these guys online, these certain channels online. And there's something that a brother told me that was very, very wonderful. That Wilder has a beautiful story. How he got started in the boxing. He started fighting for his daughter, stuff like that. I forgot this guy's name. It was a white guy, old white guy. He said he called him Pops. And I got the video. I got to say, he hugged the guy at a restaurant. He said, this is one of the guys who believed in me, who got me started in the boxing, who helped me get into boxing. Then he ended up meeting JDs at the gym and stuff like that. It was an entire interview. I have the actual video. I have to find it. And Wilder had a beautiful story. You know, the great American champion. He came from nothing. He didn't know how to fight. He fought for a noble cause. He could have just wrote that story to heavenly heights. At some point in time, I think he hooked up with these online revolutionaries online. He hooked up with these YouTube Huey P. Newtons, and they kind of helped like radicalize them a little bit.
Yeah.
And you would think that, hey, man, Wilder represents us. You know, he's one of us and stuff like that. Well, wait a minute. There's a lot of white people that was in this guy's life that really helped him get to the point the way he's at. And these guys painted a narrative about Wilder that wasn't true. You see what I'm saying? And they, trust me, I come from this community. I know that mindset very, very well. I know it better than these guys who's playing it right now. And when he did that, and then I think what happened was, when it was something about the Tyson Fury fight. At some point in that fight with him and Fury, he decided to make it racial. He decided to make it racial. He started talking about, not the first fight. First fight, he said, not the first fight, but the second fight, leading up to the second fight, Radio Raheem, to this day, the famous, to this day quote. And you know what I mean? My people been fighting for 400 years. Your people too. He said, what do you mean by your people? He said, your people too, bro. Your people too, bro. You ain't just sit here and you say you don't know what I'm talking about and all that stuff there.
You know why you just sit here, you don't know what I'm talking about?
He said that to Radio Raheem. He said, man, I'm up out of here, man. Let's go. Like, it got real. And then when you start looking on social media, the group that he decided to team up with, that was right down their alley. Because that's all they talked about. They wanted, that was right down their alley. So the racial narrative that they came with, it was just crazy. And I think he got caught up in that. All these dudes is broke, ain't got no goddamn money. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I don't know why you fighting a bunch of broke dudes on YouTube. Like, these dudes ain't got no money. They broke in the motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? So,
I don't believe for 1 second, based on who's around them, people like JD's and my old friend Shelly Finkel, I don't believe Deontay is racist. I really don't.
No, they're not. No, Wilder not racist.
Just based on his history, I don't think. I mean, he may have to play a role, but he's a colorful guy.
Yeah.
I like the whole bomb squad thing and him knocking the hell out of people, coming back, and I just wish he'd fight more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like we haven't seen him the last 2 years outside of Fury fights, to be honest with you. And I'd like to see him fight other guys. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. coming off of this trip from the Middle East.
I definitely believe Wilder's racist. I think he bit into that, and from what I see, and because I used to study these guys very, very well, that entire group. I don't study them anymore because I don't have to. Their message is still the same, and I think that's what it was. That's what it was. Wilder has a beautiful story, man. He came from nothing, from Alabama. There's nothing. I've been to Alabama. There's nothing in Alabama. Nothing. You know what I mean? And this is no disrespect to Alabama. There's nothing in Alabama, right? And, he came from that, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I think that was named after Indian, Native Americans. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I'm like, bro, man, he's a multi-millionaire. He'll never be broke. He'll never be broke again. And on YouTube, a lot of these guys, they get an opportunity to live their lives vicariously through Wilder. And if we can get them on our show, do an interview, it's going to help us get clicks and views. And then that's going to increase our super chat money or our ad revenue for this month. You get what I'm saying? Because that's what it's all about. I'm telling you, that's what it's all about. Steve, I know you've been rocking with me for a minute. Let me, I don't want to keep you on too long.
I got all the time in the world for you, Coach.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Christopher.
Hey, okay.
He said police brutality was the trigger. I don't know what that. I don't know what you mean by that. Police brutality was the trigger, but the fact of the matter is, I get it very, very well what's going on. I want to pivot a little bit. Adrien Broner. I dropped the video today by AB. AB, he did an interview with Akam Barak. Shout out to those guys. I met those guys in Omaha, Nebraska as well. At the Terence Crawford after party, David Avenesi after party. He said that he didn't get a check for the past 6 years with the PBC. And then he just came back yesterday and he clarified what he meant, right? So a lot of the people who are Haymonites and they're pro PBC, they talked bad about AB because they felt like he was slighting Al Haymon. And he did. He just said, man, I still love Al, Steven. I talk to them every day. But anything that doesn't push their narrative that makes Al Haymon look bad in any type of way, a guy who they've never met, they don't know what he looks like, they don't know what he sounds like. The only picture you have of Al Haymon are old pictures. I've never seen, this is a two-part question. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. Normally, when you have guys who have a cult-like following, these are people who are really good, eloquent speakers. They have a way with words. They have a way of mesmerizing you with the way they speak. Shout out to Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Just any of the great leaders of the past. Whether they're white or black, these guys have a way of talking and getting a following and getting people to get behind their message. Al Haymon, you don't know what he looked like. He doesn't talk. He doesn't show his face. But somehow, magically, he was able to develop a cult-like following online. And they are willing to threaten you about Al Haymon with murder. They are willing to threaten you with violence. They tell you don't show up to the fights. They tell you they have shooters. I've never seen anything like this. What say you about what my breakdown of this?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been in the crosshairs of a lot of these guys because years ago, when he was running HBO Boxing and getting guys like Andre Berto $1 million paydays for fighting Freddie Hernandez, it all is a byproduct of, number one, he was an advisor to Floyd Mayweather. And so these guys all live vicariously through Floyd and the money team. They actually thought they were part of the money team.
Right.
Never mind that Floyd's first 35 fights or so were with Bob Arum.
Well, Bob Arum, yeah.
The Top Rank's the one that developed Mayweather. You've talked about that.
Yeah, I talked about that.
But they really did have a messiah complex as it related to Al and then the organization. I thought it was very interesting how that dynamic played out. And I'm saying to myself, I wasn't there completely for the run of Don King, but I do know this. When I grew up in the 80s and 90s, Don King was at the top of his game, and he didn't even get this type of adulation from that same crowd. And Don King put on historic cards. I'm talking about cards with like 3 pay-per-view fights that had championship attached to it with great fights.
Right. And
then 3 other fights off the television that were really good championship fights with Ricardo Lopez. I'm thinking I could understand it if Al was putting on those sorts of fights or fight cards. He's not. But I think that this is my hypothesis. Al Haymon became a symbol for them of leadership and unity. And as you said, a certain type of agenda, which I don't think was ever true, to be honest with you. I really don't. This is business.
Right.
So that's what I think. And I think it's always been strange that people were caping up for a guy that I don't think would even acknowledge them in public.
Yeah.
It's a strange dynamic, Coach.
Yeah, me coming from that community, we've always had a messiah complex, and we're looking for a savior. You know what I mean? And this is just reality of the situation. Me coming up, even when I was in Nation of Islam, we always looking for a savior, someone that's gonna come save us. We've always had messiah complexes. In the black community, we love worshiping personalities. I just never seen a personality that you don't even know what he look like, don't know what he sound like. Like it literally, it's like it's an invisible guy. And when we hear his name, oh my gosh, anybody say anything about him? If you're black and you don't say the right thing, I can't believe, I never seen, I'm like, dude, okay, I can see if he was Don King and he come in there and he say, we do this for other people, by the people, other people, because we come from the people, we love the people, we represent the people, and if you represent the people will represent you. If you love the people, work with the people, help the people, and do the things that the people want you to do, the people will take care of you. Don King had the gift of gab in order to convince people, but he never had a following nowhere near like this. This guy's an invisible man, like Casper the Ghost. And I'm like, God damn, like, okay, hold on, homie. You want to cause great physical bodily harm to me because of my opinion of your Messiah that you can't see? You listen. So I never heard of that. I never heard of that before. Shout out to BX Mike for dropping that dub on your boy. He said for Steve, what's Sabrio? He said what's Sabrio Matia's promotional situation? That's one part of the question.
Okay, and I also think that the Triller Jinx hit 3 knockdown rule. I have some news on that. Okay. Subriel Matias is with the PBC. Okay. His last 3-4 fights have been with that organization. I believe he's absolutely the boogeyman. I wrote about it today on my K9's Corner. Nobody wants to face that guy. I'm just telling you, unless you are a guy like Regis Prograis who needs to do something big and no one else will face him,
right?
Matias is the boogeyman, but he is aligned with PBC. And some news on the 3 knockdown rule. I know it's been a while. Go ahead. Call it a comeback, but looks like we are rounding third, headed towards home. We will be back sometime in mid-March.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah,
that's
man.
The update.
Got it. We got to have the 3 knockdown rule back. You and Mario Lopez. You know the crazy part about it, Steve. Someone of your background, right? You know the sport of boxing very, very well. And what I notice about on social media, I call these guys social media boxing fans because these guys talk about everything but boxing. Some of them, they worship some of these fighters. I was listening to a live, I'm not going to say this guy's name, but I was just, I don't listen to a lot of these guys anymore, but I was just listening to one last night just to be curious. And one guy was saying, we coming for the belts. Was talking about in the lightweight division, he was talking about Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. We want them belts, and that's what we're going to do. And they called Bill Haney name, every name under the sun, called him a bitch. Use a PN. When I see you, I'm going to pull up, this and that. You better click the link, come on the panel. Oh, called him they called him every name in the book. And I remember when I interviewed Bill, I asked him, I said, dude, why do you subject yourself to this? You're a multimillionaire. Why do you come down to the land of peasants? You know what I mean? But he likes coming down to the land of peasants. But I noticed, I'm like, all of these guys is probably in their 20s. These are young guys. More than likely, they don't know who their father is. They probably grew up in a single family home. And, this is just the era of these young guys in their 20s and 30s today. And I'm like, it's the highest level of ignorance that I've ever seen. And I said, you know what, man, this shit ain't got nothing to do with no boxing. This has to do with everything other than boxing. These dudes want to be digital. Yeah. They want to be digital gangbangers. They want to be, they want to be Bloods and Crips, gangster disciples. They want to be vice lords, YouTube vice lords. All from behind the keyboard and a camera. And an avatar. Now, these guys not going to do anything because they are cowards in nature. They tell you better not show up to fights that they don't have the money to pay for. They go to. You're telling me not to show up to a fight that you're not going to be able to go to because you broke? You get what I'm saying? They live with their mothers. They broke his head. I know these guys very well. I'm telling you, the psychology of these guys is crazy. So this is why I say there's a difference between YouTube boxing fans and actual boxing fans. Shout out.
Go ahead,
Steve.
You know what's interesting? And I think you'll find this as you start to go to more fights. The people that actually go to fights, I can honestly tell you 99.999% of my interactions with fans is positive.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's friendly. You take pictures. They want to talk boxing with you. The negative stuff comes online.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from people that would never say that to your face, even if they know who you are and you're around them. And quite frankly, I don't want to get into it with anybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, I actually got something to lose. You don't. So maybe I should just walk away.
Yeah.
But the reality is I've met a lot of great fans. And in fact, you know what? Even on Twitter, I would say 98% of my interactions with fans are very respectful. And it's fun. And what I do now, I don't really argue with them. I just mute those people.
Yeah,
I don't even block them. So that's because now they get to listen to me and I get to not listen to you. It's the greatest deal ever.
Yeah, you don't want to put me up on muting, so that's what I do. I mute them, and that's it. So they be talking and stuff. I don't see nothing they say. Shout out to Drew.
Hey, okay.
Dropping a half a dub.
Drew.
He said Steve won. He said, I guess he's saying first question. He said, is Davis Garcia a super fight when neither is a A-list star? That's the first question.
By the way, I like the way he gave $10 because he's asking 2 questions. That Drew is a man of honor and principle. Thumbs up to Drew. And he says, okay, will this fight cross over to casual pop culture fans like previous super fights in 7 weeks with no press? No. I'll tell you what's interesting about Hagler Hearns. They went on a 21-city, 14-day press tour. They each had private planes. They flew everywhere. Coach, that fight was so big, and I'll show you YouTube links. Back then for super fights, shows like Good Morning America and the Today Show, they used to actually do remotes from those fights for 2-3 days. National news used to cover it. Big fights back then felt different because it was more important and it was bigger. Now, is Davis Garcia a super fight? By today's very low standards, it might be. But again, we are talking about 2 guys, neither of which I think is a real legitimate champion, fighting at a catch weight. And neither guy has ever really done a pay-per-view that's done more than 250,000 buys. So again, it's a super fight by today's lowered bar at best.
Yeah. You're right, the lower bar. Again, Steve, you hit the nail right on the head, man. Hey, shout out to Drew, man, for the super chat. Malcolm Flores he said, what them boys told you, coach? Come to Memphis. Yeah, come to Memphis, yeah. Shout out to I am Cam.
Hey, okay.
Dropping that quarter of a dub on your boy. He said, one love to Steve Kim for the Peaches and Herb lyrics. My guy got vocals. He said, Coach, we got to thank Al Haymon for making all of this possible. Steve, Steve, you know what? I have to say this. I have to say this because I'll be remiss if I don't do this. I have to thank Almighty Al Haymon before I thank God, Jesus, Allah, Moses, Buddha, whatever deity that you serve. I have to thank him first. It's something that I noticed. When the fighters fought in Saudi Arabia yesterday, all the fighters who came up, when the fight was over with, they thank God in their post-fight press conference in the ring. They say, Alhamdulillah, you know what I mean? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Allahu Akbar. They said all of those lovely things, right? I want to thank God first. But I noticed when you're a PBC fighter, they don't thank God first. They do this.
I guess I got to be like everybody else and thank Al Haymon. I can quit my job now, baby. 6 figures, baby. You feel me?
But a name. Do you have a name?
Oh, nah, I ain't got no name,
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
Yeah, that's what they do, Steve. So from this point forward, if you ever call this show, the first thing you have to say is mandatory. You have to thank Al Haymon.
So I'm going to say this right now. The next time Johnny Rice fights, and after he wins, he better thank Coach Malachi. Okay? If he's a man of honor and integrity, which I think he is, he's a very friendly fellow. Next time Johnny Rice wins a fight, he better thank you first and foremost. Okay? Let's get that very clear.
Yeah, I'll be representing for Johnny Rice hard, man. I like Johnny Rice, man. Hey, shout out to Walt from South Florida.
Hey, okay.
Dropping that quarter of a dub. He said met Steve several times, especially at Jimmy's Corner. He said always nice talking to him. Okay. Yeah,
Jimmy's Corner. Hey, Coach, have you been to Jimmy's Corner in New York?
No, I haven't. I've never been to New York City. I've been in New York State,
all right,
but never New
we
York
got to
City.
go to a fight there. I'm just telling you, that is the ultimate dive bar owned by the late, great Jimmy Glenn, old boxing guy. He knew Muhammad Ali. He knew Sugar Ray Robinson. And the whole bar has boxing posters and pictures. And it's a legendary place right in Manhattan. And you can get an unbelievable buzz and a hangover for like under $40. Best deal in town.
Listen, shout out to Drew.
Hey, okay.
Dropping that quarter of a dub. He said, Coach, ask Steve for his Emmanuel Stewart impersonation.
Okay, so the Emmanuel Stewart impersonation, I've been told, and this means a lot, when the brothers come up to me saying, hey, Steve, you do the best Emmanuel Stewart impersonation. So here it goes. All right, motherfucker, we got to throw that motherfucking right hand like a Tommy motherfucking Hearns. And I said, Lennox, listen, motherfucker, you got to throw that right hand. I don't give a fuck about nobody else. We got to drop that motherfucking right hand. So that's kind of like the Emmanuel Stewart. You got to kind of get into it. But if you don't say MFer, it's not as good. I've tried to clean Emmanuel. It's not quite as good without the MFer.
Hey, you know what? You sound just like him because that's exactly what Steve. Hey, oh man, bro, we lost.
Oh my God, Coach, the funniest moment of every HBO fight. And I knew Emmanuel very well. I was very close to him. I actually got to hang out with him in Detroit. Went to his house. It's an amazing day when I was covering the Tim Bradley Devin Alexander fight. I mean, he was like the mayor of Detroit. Everywhere he went, everybody knew him. But I loved it during every HBO fight he would call. When a certain guy would start dominating the fight, I knew this was going to happen. This is exactly what I said was going to happen. I was like, Emmanuel, the guy was a 10-1 favorite. We all fucking knew it. What are you talking about? But Emmanuel's the best. Emmanuel was a great boxing man. Loved him.
Steve, okay. You know, I have to ask you this question. This is James Likes Out Tony, one of my favorite fighters in the history of boxing.
Likes Out Tony.
Now, his attitude, he had a hell of an attitude. Now, I'm not saying he had the greatest attitude in the world. I'm not going to say that. But boxing-wise, James Likes Out Tony, marvelous Marvin Hagler. I'm biased. I love Hagler over everybody.
Oh boy.
Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. Carlos Monzon. Those four fighters, middleweights. Those four fighters. I like Ray Robinson better as a welterweight more so than middleweight. I think he was best at welterweight.
Yeah, you know, Coach. Ray Robinson, most of his middleweight fights, he was really a junior middleweight if you check the weight. So he may be the all-time greatest junior middleweight welterweight, although there really wasn't a junior welterweight when he fought. But so you're asking me, out of those guys, who's the best middleweight?
I mean, no, listen, this is subjective. Like, you know, I mean, you don't have to say who's the best, but those four guys was damn.
And you know, and can't forget Bernard Hopkins. Cannot forget B-Hop. People forget how good B-Hop was when he was a little bit younger.
What about the Hulk, Julian Jackson? What about him as well?
Oh, great puncher. One of the all-time greatest punchers. He could freeze you like an abominable snowman with either hand. Unbelievable. What he did to Terry Norris in that second round, I'll never forget. The fight was on ABC. Terry Norris, first round, looked like young Ray Robinson. I said, wow, this guy's great. And then he got caught up on the rope, dropped his hands, and bang. I just literally froze him. It was unbelievable. So, let's go down the list. Marvin Hagler, to me, is the best middleweight ever. Forget the number of title defenses. It's been said that he fought the toughest run before winning a title when he had to go through Philadelphia. No, and he had to go through more iron than anybody. And he really should have been a champion for at least 3-4 years longer. Okay? He really should have had about 25 title defenses if it wasn't for the politics. James Toney, I love, my favorite fighter after Marvin Hagler from the 80s to the 90s. Last full-time American fighter to take tune-up fights and stay busy fights and non-title fights in between title fights. I wish more fighters would do that today. But really, his best days were at 68.
You talking about Toney?
I think he's actually one of the greatest super middleweights ever.
Super middleweight. You're right. No,
Roy Jones.
You're right.
Again, Roy didn't have a long middleweight run either.
He didn't.
Roy was maybe the greatest super middleweight ever. I think Roy, I don't care what happened. I think with Calzaghe, he was not in his prime. I still think Roy Jones the best super middleweight ever. That's just my opinion, okay? Bernard Hopkins, top 5 middleweight of all time. The most disciplined human being I have ever seen. Every time I go to a fight hotel and Golden Boy's involved, I've always said to fans, if you want to meet Bernard Hopkins at 8 o'clock in the morning, go to the fitness center because he is there. He makes monks look undisciplined. I've never seen a guy who adhere to a fighter's lifestyle, even now.
Right.
Because I've eaten lunch with him where if it's a fried chicken and he doesn't know he ordered fried chicken on a sandwich, I've actually seen him get a knife and a fork and just scrape off all the breading. It was like he was doing surgery. I was like, God, this guy really is disciplined. So those guys really thin. Monzon certainly in the Mount Rushmore of middleweights. Big, strong guy, really good puncher. The thing that hurts him a little bit is that he kind of fought an era where there weren't a lot of great other middleweights. He fought guys like Emil Griffith, Montekia Napoles, who's more of a welterweight. But I certainly think all of those guys are among some of the all-time greatest.
Man, Steve, thank you so much, man. I got to get ready to take my son to karate.
Absolutely. You got better things to do than to waste your day with me. But look, I want to appreciate you having me on. I want to thank your audience for putting up with me, and we'll do it again. And by the way, let me know when you're coming out to L.A. because you are definitely invited. You're going to get a seat.
I'll be in L.A. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look at the calendar now. I will be in L.A. the third week of March. Next month, I will be in L.A. I'm going to tell you right now.
So we are going to schedule our monthly boxing dinner at the world famous Phil Trainees. You, me, Drew, and some other boxing folks. Doug Fisher comes. Rudy Hernandez comes. Manny Robles comes. Jerry Cazares comes, who's the manager of Sinicia Estrada. And we chop it up. It's just Boxing Palooza 4.0. Wine, women, and song, all that good stuff. You're definitely invited. In fact, you are coming. You have no other choice.
No, I definitely be. I'm looking at the calendar now. What day you guys are doing this?
It depends. We're going to work it around your schedule.
Okay, I tell you what.
So let us know what day. And we're going to work it around your schedule.
I'll give you a call and let you know. But I'm looking at the calendar now. I know that I'm leaving. I'm going to San Antonio on the 8th to Kid Austin's training camp, and then 2 weeks later, I'm getting on the plane and I'll probably fly to L.A. and I'll be in L.A. for 4 days from the 22nd to the 22nd to the 26th. I'll leave. I'll get
so
there
we'll make
Wednesday.
it happen one of those days.
I get there Wednesday, and then I leave Sunday.
Okay, we're gonna make it definitely happen one of those days. We'll hang out. We'll have some fun, and want to thank your audience for having me. And Coach, I'll keep listening, brother. You stay well. Have a great rest of the day.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the legendary Steve Kim. Let's give him a round of applause. Hey, man, that was a classic interview. I do know a lot of content creators going to be listening to that. Let all you content creators know, if you want to use sound bites of this interview, you can. I don't have a problem with it. I don't set trip, not going to flag you or nothing like that. If you want to use parts of the interview, you can. You have my permission. Whether I like you or not makes no never mind to me. The content is the content. Spin it how you want to spin it. I don't care. Doesn't make me no never mind. You can use it. Because it's helping me anyways. But let's give everybody, man, a round of applause in the chat. It is what it is, man. And once again, it's on. We're going to rock out for another 20 minutes. Let me drop the phone lines. And shout out to the mighty, shout out to Team Freeway Boxing. This is the official podcast of Team Freeway Boxing. Shout out to my brother, man, the real Rick Ross.
What's my name? My name is nobody, and I don't live nowhere, and I don't know nothing. I don't know because I know that you gon' tell God on Jesus, kiss a Judas, silver pieces, monkeys acting in the monkey show. Gangsta monster killer, silverback. Where is your rap sheet that you never explains? Moving fast, thinking slow. Dummy clown, silly Billy, need a hug. Thugs on drugs, monkeys acting in the monkey show.
Yeah, man, over here, man, if you ain't got to worry about nobody talking about drop the addy, we going to pull up. We got shooters to a bunch of broke-ass jitterbugs. I don't worry about that over here as well. I will be in L.A. I'm going out there to L.A. We're going to see the legendary Steve Kim, try to hook up with Drew as well. I will be with Freeway Ricky Ross, Melvin Farmer. Interviews lined up with Melvin Farmer, Ayatollah Marv, as well as Big U. I'm going to be out there going through the different neighborhoods with the different Crip sets and blood sets. I'm not talking about digital gangbanging. I'm going out there in the valley of the gangbang where it all started at. I'm going out there, and then I'm gonna see my family as well. I have family from South Central as well, so I'll go out there and see that. So while y'all on here talking about something, drop the addy. I got shooters. You better not come to my city. Yada yada yada. In your mama's basement, hide behind the keyboard. I very well may be in your city. True. It is what it is, man. Phone lines over 530-494-9636. 530-494-9636, man. That was a good interview, man. Steve Kim, that was legendary, bro. I'm not even gonna say a lie to you, man. The man knows his boxing knowledge. I am a boxing channel. I love boxing a lot. That's all I care about. So Shady Slim say, be careful out there, fam. Fam, I'm in good hands. When I go to LA, I'm in good hands. Trust me, I'm in good hands in LA. I'm gonna be fine. Trust me, I will. You know what I mean? The type of people I'm gonna be around, I'm gonna be great. We connected. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be all right. Between my family and the people I'm gonna be around, I'm gonna be good. Just like Steve really broke this down. A lot of these top fights we haven't seen. You know, a lot of this is the networks. You know, a lot of the network divide. Errol Spence was kind of right when he said that Terence Crawford was on the wrong side of the street and stuff like that. He did popularize that, and his fan base, not his fan base, because there's a difference between an Errol Spence fan and an aerosexual. There's a difference between an Errol Spence fan and an aerosexual. I'm going to let you guys know. A lot of you guys don't know what aerosexual is. I'm going to give you the definition of an aerosexual. Hold on, let's see what's up. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Got a call calling in. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Salute, Coach, man. What are you saying? Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah, your phone sounds terrible, man, but we're going to try to get through it, man. If I can't hear you, you're going to have to call back with a better connection.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, it's Cassidy, man. What's up, Coach? What, can you hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, Cassidy, what's going on? Talk to me.
What's good, man? What's good, man? Salute, man, obviously. Salute as usual, man. Yeah, I wanted to speak on two things, obviously. You get me, I wanted to ask you a question, and I wanted to speak to you about something. In the press conference before the Jake Paul Tyson Fury fight, you heard Tyson Fury, you heard Matt Tyson and Devin Haney and other fighters or other entities speak on how the promoters it doesn't make sense how they get the fucking check before the fighters do, and they're splitting the fucking fighters' money when they work underneath the fighter. I wanted you to just elaborate on that, on what Matt Tyson. I think what he said in that press conference was kind of, you get me, elaborating.
I didn't see the press conference. I would have to actually see it in order to be able to comment on it. But when I see it, I will be able to tell you what I think about it.
No, he was just saying, cut the long story short, he was just saying, he wasn't just saying, he said that it doesn't make sense how the promoters get the fighters checks, or the promoters are they're dealing with the business when it comes to the fighters. When the fight, obviously it should be the other way around. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying to you? But obviously, watch the interview and you'll be able to break it down a bit more. Innit?
Okay.
And I wanted to ask you about Crawford, because you got to obviously meet him, innit? You know what I'm saying? So you got to speak with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand exactly. As you deservedly should be able to. You know what I'm saying to you? How did you get to delve into his mind? Like, what type of, what kind of fighter do you think he? I think he's cut from the old school cloth of a Hagler, Durant, Wilker, Benitez, those kind of guys. I think he's one of those kind of guys. When you got to speak to him, how did you delve into his brain? Like, what did you gather from him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the ongoing conversations that you had with him? Obviously, not to get into your personal business like that, but yeah, I just wanted to know that. That's what I wanted to know. And I think Johnny Rice, in his next fight, when he wins, he should definitely shout you out and say, I'd like to thank Coach Malachi. I would love to hear that from Johnny Rice.
Yeah, man. I'm not. Nah, Crawford is a serious guy. Me being face to face with him, I got a chance to feel his energy, and he's a no nonsense type dude. But he's very, very funny. He talks a lot, to be honest with you. Like, he's a talker. Which really surprised me. When I met him, he embraced me. I'm not making this up. When I met him, he was like, "Man, what's up, man?" Embraced me, and he, we talked about a lot of different things that I won't discuss between me and him. But he showed me some things. I won't discuss that as well. But I saw him in the ring. Like, he's a dead serious guy. Boxing IQ is very, very high. Very, very high boxing IQ. He has 3 different trainers, between Red, Bomac, and Saul. All of them play a vital role in getting him prepared. He was in shape when I saw him. When I saw him, he was about 150, maybe 153 pounds. He wasn't far from welterweight at all. He was helping the kids inside of the gym. There was this, the one thing I remember before I let you go, because I got other calls calling in, there was this kid that was about 8 years old. He had to be no older than my son. He was about 8 years old, and the kid was just wandering around in the gym, And, you know, just when nobody wasn't really paying him any attention, Bud was running on the treadmill. And he said, Red. And Red said, yeah, what's going on? He said, work with him. You know what I mean? And I saw Bud, you know, so Red got the little 8-year-old kid working with him and hitting the pads and stuff, trying to show him footwork, how to work the jab. And then Bud got off the treadmill and he was working with other kids as well. In that gym, there's no big eyes and little U's. They look at Crawford as just being a regular guy. He treats everybody that way. None of the kids there, it was free for a lot of the kids to come in if they can't afford to come and fight in the gym. They don't have to pay as long as they show up. You know what I mean? And bro, and that's one part is the boxing gym. The other half of the gym is a wrestling gym. On the wrestling side, they have quite a few coaches over there that's showing these kids how to wrestle. Nebraska is known for being a wrestling state, more so than boxing. And these kids, they got some world-class wrestlers over there, little kids that's winning all types of wrestling tournaments. I actually met the guy. Shout out to my brother Wallace. Wallace was a Nation of Islam like myself. He was the guy who got Bud, Bernie the Boxer, Red. He got those guys involved in boxing in Omaha. So shout out to Wallace as well. And there's a whole lot of other stuff, man, that I can share, that I can really share. But it's not going to change anyone's mind. I said, these guys who hate Crawford, they hate him today, they gonna hate him tomorrow. It doesn't matter. These guys they hate their own people. And I understand the level of ignorance that's on YouTube. A lot of the ignorant YouTube channels, some of them come over here and watch my show. But when you come over here and understand, I really do give two fucks. I try to run these niggas off the block. I'm not your friend. All I care about is boxing. I care nothing about your subscribership. Nothing at all. Trust me, I don't. If you want to unsubscribe, leave. I don't give a damn. Your threats don't work with me. It is what it is. But Crawford is a solid guy. In my book, it is what it is. And that's the way I see it. That's my personal experience with him. And I will be going back out that way as well. Shout out to Cassidy. We got other calls calling in. Salute, fam. Cassidy from London. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Still Cassidy. All right. Call back. Whoever call back. Shout out to Big Lorenzo.
Hey, okay.
Dropping that half for bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy!
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
He said, what you say? You say, if you can view the Wilder interview with 7-8. He subliminally disses
Unknown
PBC.
caller.
He subliminally disses PBC and said that the Saudi is the new home of boxing. Yeah, he said that. And he said that when he was over there in the interview. Saudi is the new home of boxing. And what did he say? Hold on. Saudi is the new home of boxing. And he about to fight there. He said you had people like BFTV said the Saudis are racist to Wilder. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. To my boyfriend, I call BFTV boyfriend. Yeah, you got to worry about boyfriend. He's one of the most ignorant niggas that ever came to the womb of a woman. So that nigga, what he said don't mean shit. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, Coach, it's Rick, man. What are you saying, man? It's Rick from Toronto. What are you saying, man?
Rick from Toronto, talk to me.
Yo, after this, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury fiasco that underwent in Abu Dhabi. Like I have, my wheels started turning, thinking that, how Fury, Tyson Fury contacted his homeboy, Derek Chisora for their fight. That was meh, you know what I mean? And now, what are the odds that Tyson Fury now reached out to Deontay Wilder, saying, yo, man, do you want to put on a little bit of a show? They texting each other probably back in the back scene, being like, yo, man, you ain't going to get paid. You ain't going to get paid from doing no PBC garbage with Ruiz and whatnot, and I'm going to try to duck Usyk because I'm a grown-ass pussy that's 295 pounds or whatever the hell he is. I'm a grown-ass pussy, and I don't want to get my ass whooped by no cruiserweight. So why don't we get paid quietly and do our little scheme behind the thing? And this is as you stated in your past statement, the path of least resistance. Some of these fools, they don't want to throw down. They want to get the easy payday and thinking that they're going to get paid like Floyd.
Yeah, I mean, that's your assessment of it. I don't know exactly what's been going on with Fury and Wilder and behind the scenes. To be honest with you, All I know is, if anyone is spamming the chat, block them. Get them out of here. Make them create another account. If anyone's spamming the chat, block them. We're not gonna tolerate that shit over here. Take that shit back to them other niggas' channel. This ain't the spot. As it relates to Fury and Wilder, I think what Wilder's doing is good. Trying to get the money in Saudi Arabia. He might as well. What's going on with Fury as it relates to Usyk? I do feel that he's trying to duck Usyk myself. We'll have to see. Only time will tell how that pans out, how that plays out. But if that's your assessment of it, so be it. Bro, that's all I can say, Rick. If that's your assessment of it.
Thanks for your views, Coach, man. I always appreciate it, bro.
All right, shout out to Rick from Toronto, man. Salute, fam. Toronto, stand up. I see we got the ops spamming us. They can spam all they want. It don't matter. They're gonna keep getting blocked. Block every last goddamn account they come with. Shout out to Haymon. Hey, dropping that half for bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy.
Haymon, what to say, fam? You say thanks for having Steve Kim on. If you can get Rick Glazer and stem on that Steve Kim and Rick Glazer on the show at the same time. I mean, we'll see, fam. We'll see. We'll see. I don't, it's going to be contingent upon their schedule. You know what I mean? So, Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
One love to you, Coach Malachi. It's Pastor. It's Cam the Baptist.
You got a lot
from Omaha, Nebraska.
You got feedback in the background. I don't know what that noise is in the background.
Oh, my bad. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Coach?
Yes, I can hear you.
One love to you, man. This is Cam the Baptist out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Cam the Baptist, talk to me, fam, from Omaha. Talk to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to call in and say one love to you, OG. Man, I see you doing your thing, man. Next time you touch down in the city, hit me. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you around town how I go down. What's understood don't need to be explained. So, yeah, I did want to, you know what I'm saying? But I did want to call and touch base with you because I heard Steve Kim dropping them vocals, man. He did his thing, man. I just wanted him to hit that reunited one more time. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. Dude is cool.
Yes, now Steve Kim cool as hell.
But,
I'm looking forward to meeting him when I go to LA next month. End of the month, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, OG, what are your thoughts? And see, I'm imagining get a chance to see the interview for the press conference because I'm really anxious to hear what your thoughts are about that. I did get a chance to catch some of that before.
What interview?
During the press conference. I'm sorry, not the interview, but the press conference where they were talking to Mike Tyson, Devin Haney, and some of the other fighters.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I gotta see it. Well, what was that? Was that on Fight? Was that on Fight Hype? Can anyone? Hey, can anyone send me that link? Press conference for what?
Say it again.
Press conference.
It was on the Jake Paul and Fury press conference.
Okay.
They had that prior. They had that on prior to the press conference.
Okay. So Jake Paul and Fury. So you saying Jake Paul and Fury? You want me to listen to Jake Paul and Fury press conference or listen to Devin Haney, Tyson?
On that press conference, it was prior to it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
They had several fighters like Mike Tyson, Devin Haney. There was a couple other guys sit down with like the Saudi prince.
Okay. Yeah, I got to check that out. I got to look at it because I did pay for the fight. I got to look at it, but yeah, man. Once I listen to it, then I'll be able to get my assessment of it. You know what I mean? I have to listen to it to get my assessment.
Yes, sir. I'm definitely anxious to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you so much,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Cam, thank you so much. Sorry about that, bro. That's my alarm letting me know that it's karate time. Thanks for calling, man. Shout out to Cam the Baptist from Omaha, Nebraska. Salute, fam. Round of applause. Yeah, we got no more phone calls, man. Phone calls is over, man. I want to thank everybody, man, who showed up. I see they trying to spam the chat. They can't stop the guy. I want to say, can you guys block it? No, they are blocking it, but this guy has a bunch. Normally when you see a bunch of spams like this guy have a bunch of spam accounts. It's a bunch of spam accounts with the same name. So this is what he's able to do. You notice some of the pictures are different. He has a bunch of spam accounts with the same name. It's probably a bot, whatever the case may be. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he ain't stopping nothing. So, y'all just keep blocking him. That's all. Shout out to Malcolm.
Hey, okay.
For dropping that quarter over. Bam, dub on your boy.
Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. He said, I went for Jake. He said, but he made excuses after the fight. Hey, you got to hit him up. I'm with that AB coach. Yeah, Jake did make excuses. Jake went to saying that, I think he said he was sick before the fight. He hurt his arm or something of that sort. He said that. A lot of people were saying, man, the way I commentated that fight, I made it seem like it was the Thriller in Manila. You get what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Shut that soft ass shit up.
And the best man
Shut
to
that
win.
soft. That's some soft ass shit. Shut that soft ass shit up. All that soft talking. I know you can do it, man. You got to. Man, shut that soft ass shit up.
Ben say, he said, Coach, if they ain't spam you, you're not doing something right. He said you're doing something wrong. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We got the hottest daytime boxing podcast in the land. It is what it is. I only been around 2 years now. A lot of these guys have been around since 1972. I'm talking about the bigger channels, and, we pulling numbers as well. We'll be at 20,000 subscribers probably in a couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks, we'll probably be at 20,000 subscribers or maybe even more. They ain't stopping nothing. They're not going to stop nothing. They can't stop. I'm like Diddy, yeah. Take that. Can't stop, won't stop. You know what I mean?
We did it first, and we motivate even the greats. This is different.
Boy, I love my haters, boy. I love my haters. Lord knows I love my haters, boy. Couldn't do it without you. Hey, man, shout out to my dog. Where my dog Booger Ray at? Booger Ray. Shout out to my dog Booger Ray with the AK. We're going to say a prayer for a lot of these sapsuckers who hating on the old boy.
And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes. He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island. Lord.
We're going to make it do what it do, man, for sure.
Who you think it is, DJ Quick?
No,
huh?
No, I ain't saying
Kid Capri?
I didn't say
that. Oh, you must be Jimmy Walker. Well, you ain't nothing. You don't deserve nothing. You don't get nothing. You get what I give you. I got a contract between me and you that say you do what I tell you to do. Therefore, shut up. Don't say nothing. Don't speak to me. Don't look at me.
I just want money. I just said.
Blue, if I raise up, gonna be trouble. Trouble. I'm walking off.
Christopher, he said, Coach, it look like you getting better. Yeah, I am getting better. I'm getting better. Look like my voice is coming back on the show, so I really appreciate that, man. I was feeling a little down a little bit before the show started, but having Steve Kim on the show kind of picked my spirits up a little bit. I'm still a little bit, you know what I mean? But I'm getting there, man. I really feel good. It's just I had a lot of mucus, and it's just the damn nasal drip cough got me coughing and stuff, so that's why I want to get off this goddamn live. It is what it is, man. Shout out to Booger Ray and Eddie the Hitman.
Sunshine when Tank's gone.
I'll smack the shit out of him in front of everybody.
Only dark times for you.
I mean, just throw Haney's name in the hat. There is no fucking hat.
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone.
I don't play them type of games.
Leonard L.B. Why you always talking about me?
Did you fucking learn your lesson from that with AJ?
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone.
I'll knock that motherfucker's hole out. Period.
Only dark times for you.
Ain't no hats to throw nothing in here. We're running a fucking business.
Ain't no sunshine when Tank's gone.
You fucking idiot.
Leonard L.B. Why you always talking about me?
Dude, what he say? He say, Coach, why you call BF boyfriend? Because that's what he is.
Don't ever come by here. Okay?
Shout out to my dog, David Ruffin, man.
Wish you could work it the way I do, but you can't. You're begging me not to leave you, and I refuse to let you go.
Shout out to my dog, 8B.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. I did this for the hood. Y'all know I beat that boy.
I cannot confirm nor deny that I am on the payroll of Jake the Snake Paul. I cannot confirm nor deny if I'm on the payroll that I'm on the payroll of Jake the Snake Paul. If anyone asks me that question, I
plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything you say, 5. Go ahead, ask me a question. Did you? 5.
Yes, sir, man, I plead the fifth. I will not confirm nor deny that. It's not my job to confirm your suspicions of me being on the payroll. If you feel that way, that's the way you feel. I'm not gonna clear all doubt. Assume what you want to assume. Let everybody know. If that's what you want to believe it. You feel me?
Nigga, when my name come up, respect it. Let's go. Stop playing with my fucking name. All 3 of y'all.
Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more. Put some respect on my name.
Anybody that's a #1 contender and they're looking to get the fight, man, shout out to T Street Controversy, man. I listen, bro. All jokes aside, I really like this guy, T Street. Shout out to T Street Controversy. This guy been in the game for a long time. He actually does have journalistic integrity in the sport. I know a lot of people who like me. Some people who like me, they don't like my style, and I do understand it. But that is a method to my madness. But this is one of the channels I do listen to. He talks about a lot of different things outside of boxing as well. This is one of the brothers I respect. I think he's out of Philly. And I'm not just saying this because he's in the chat. You guys know me. I don't cap. If I like you, I like you. If I don't, I'm going to just tell you. The hell with you. But I don't feel that way about this brother, man. Shout out to T Street, man. I got a lot of great deal of respect for you. I respect a lot of the vets who've been doing it before me anyways. Some of these guys are very toxic, and I'm here to get rid of the toxicity, and that's just the pettiness in me. But salute, man. Salute to T Street. Salute to you, fam. Salute, fam. I really appreciate you dropping by. Yeah, man, but back to what we were saying. Hey, if you're a #1 contender and you looking to get a fight with the champ, don't worry about it, dog. We gonna stop this sapsucker from ducking. Let him know, dog.
Now, I am the #1 contender. I'm tired of James the Poodle, Grim Reaper, whatever you want to call himself, ducking me. All right, I'm tired of man driving around town in 8 Rolls Royces. He ain't fought nobody. I'm still in a bro hand.
Now, you know, we saw that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they met up for the first time since the trilogy in Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Wilder embraced Fury. You know what I mean? They embraced each other. Fury said, bomb squad. We heard what the brother said. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But Wilder, let Fury know next time you see him, what you gonna tell him, Wilder?
Don't ever forget, when I found you, you was strung out on coke. When I found you, you was like a big house, contemplating about killing yourself. So don't you ever forget who brought you to big time boxing. I drugged you back. I brought you back. I provided food and put food on your table for your family to eat. And I'm doing it for the second time. So don't you ever forget that.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Shout out to what's my brother's name? Badu Jack. Badu Jack is the 3-division world champion. He beat Makabu, I think it's Alumba Makabu yesterday. Stopped him in the 12th round. Badu Jack showed he had that dog in him. Not only was he winning the fight, he said, I'm going to stop this guy. He stopped him in the 12th round. That's the best I've probably ever seen Badu Jack in a long time. Like, I haven't seen him fight like that in a while, because the fight before that, he didn't look good to me, but he really poured it on yesterday, man. Let's give Badu Jack a round of applause, man, for becoming the new WBC Cruiserweight champion. Yeah. And shout out to my dog, 6-Figure Johnny, pound for pound. Johnny Rice is one of the best heavyweights in boxing today.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and think, Al Haymon, I can quit my job now, baby. 6 figures, baby. You feel me?
But a name. Do you have a name?
Oh, nah, I ain't got no name, you know.
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
Anybody want the smoke? We got it over here.
Oh, that's what I got when I see that whole ass nigga coach man like how ways I'm gonna put them paws on them. Nigga, Wakanda forever, bitch. Oh, Lord, he threw Wakanda through that fence. Wakanda is dead. Oh, Lord.
The Swift 718. Okay. Dropping that $2 super chat. He said Coach did it first, and he motivates even the hate. Yes, sir, we motivate the hate. We love the hate. We got to have it, man. Shout out to Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia for making this fight happen, man. And anybody online still talking about 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, take whatever we give you. Errol Spence, can you please let these fools know that you were just playing?
I know you once said, hey, look, if we fight, it's going to be either 70-30, 80-20. Was that?
Man, I was. When I said
posturing or what was that?
When did I say that?
You know, that was.
Yeah, I said it on my girl Instagram. Yeah. What's going? But I was playing. Hey, man, nobody taking no 80-20, 70-30. Yeah, I was playing. I was like, because I was like, it's gonna be 60-40, and I was like, yeah, he keep playing crazy. It's gonna be 70-30 or 80-20. But yeah, I was playing. Like I was serious about that, man. Like, people can't take jokes.
We got to weed out the sapsuckers. I think the true boxing fans need to come together, and we got to collect.
I run every kind of bitch, every kind of place, and I know one thing. When it comes down on you, you either collectivize or you run.
like a solitary rat.
I tell you what, man. I tell you what we're gonna do too, man. We ain't playing with these sap suckers over here, man. I gotta take my son to karate, man. My son is a yellow belt. He's a karate.
I'm a karate man, all right? Karate man bruise on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Riley, to that whole ass nigga that was sending all that spam over here, biting me and stuff like that, let him know how we feel about it.
Fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out of my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
You know what? Before we go, we gotta send a shout out to the Tenderonis, man. All of the Tenderonis out there, man. Blessed 365, Nick Rich, you know, Lisa Bells, Green Eyes P, Anna Lee. You know what I mean? All the Tenderonis out there, man. Shout out to all the Tenderonis. Dr. Umar, talk to him. Talk to him, Umar.
And by the way, ladies, and I'm telling you the God's honest truth. By the way, ladies, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. By the way, ladies, I'm telling you the God's honest truth. I had a dream, and spirit confirmed to me in the dream that I'm supposed to have 2 wives. And since it came to me in my dream, it is official and it is authentic. It was approved by the heavens. They will not be the same complexion because I don't want to be accused of being a light-skinned supremacist or a dark-skinned supremacist.
That's right. All the Tenderonis out there. And you know what? AB is back being a free agent again. Hopefully he can get another fight somewhere. I don't know, man. Maybe he had to go back to Al. He might have to call Al again, go back to Al again, man. Get up under that death row contract. But, man, shout out to AB, man. It is what it is. See you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know my motto, don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace. Also, check out the new videos I dropped today. Please go on my community. I dropped 2 videos today. I dropped the Adrien Broner video, and I dropped the Andy Ruiz video. You guys, please check that out. See you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You know my motto, don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.